Barnstormers prevailing by a final score of 5-3. This afternoon, Lancaster 3-6 taking on York 2-6. Two ball clubs that are trying to right now figure out exactly where they are in terms of the pecking order in the Atlantic League. You see some teams off to phenomenal starts this year, Gastonia and Southern Maryland especially, and you wonder, are they actually better than the Barnstormers are? I think that the next three-game series against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs is going to tell this Barnstormers club a lot about who they are. The Barnstormers have generally had the better of Southern Maryland over the years. Southern Maryland has never won the season series, but Stan and crew, they're off to a terrific start. They're 7-1. They've won their last 7 ball games. The Barnstormers, I think, are heading into a series where they're going to see exactly how they stack up with the rest of the Atlantic League. Don't be surprised if the Barnstormers go to Southern Maryland and win that series and begin to level things out a little bit here in 2022. But the Blue Crabs are off to some kind of a start. In fact, they've been so good, their only loss belongs to Daryl Thompson, the reigning Atlantic League Pitcher of the Year. So we'll see how good the Blue Crabs are when we get there. We'll, I think, see a lot about how good the Barnstormers are when we get to that series. Here are the starting lineups for the ball game this afternoon. For the York Revolution, some guys getting the opportunity to play today for Mark Mason. Zach Rakuson will lead off. He will be in right field. Josue Herrera will make the start at second base. He will bat 2. Melky Mace is in left field batting 3rd. The cleanup hitter is Nelly Rodriguez. He's the DH. Carlos Franco batting 5th and 3rd. The first baseman will be Carlos Castro hitting in the number 6 slot. JC Encarnacion will see his first action of this season. He's batting 7th in center. Edwin Figuera, the shortstop, batting 8th. And Lenin Rodriguez will be the catcher, batting in the number 9 slot with Duke von Schaman on the hill. For the Barnstormers, Ladarius Clark leads off in center. The second baseman batting 2nd is Melvin Mercedes. Colton Shaver is catching, hitting 3rd. The cleanup batter is Kelly Dugan, the DH. It will be Andretti Cordero batting 5th at first base. Conor Lean is the right fielder batting 6th. Trace Lair at 3rd hitting 7th. The shortstop batting 8th, Jake Hoover. And Devon Torrance will make the start in left field. He is batting 9th here today. Cam Gann on the hill, no record, and a 3.72 earned run average. Right now we're going to send you down to the field for our opening ceremonies.
At this time, we would like to take a moment of silence to honor a member of the Atlantic League family who we recently lost. Longtime York Revolution employee, fan and friend to all, Everett George. The Barnstormers extend their deepest sympathies to the York Revolution and the George family. He will be missed. And now, to perform our national anthem, please welcome Stacy Bell.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the
Sunday afternoon baseball at Clipper Magazine Stadium, and a wonderful tribute to a good friend of mine, Everett George. He was really a friend to everyone in the Atlantic League, but such a part of this War of the Roses rivalry over the past 14 seasons of Atlantic League baseball. It's hard to fathom getting through this year. It's hard to fathom going over to York and not seeing Everett. We always would greet each other with David or Everett, and that was the relationship that we had. He was just a dear, dear man, and will be missed by everyone here in the Atlantic League. For the Barnstormers this afternoon, Cameron Gann leading off on the hill for the Barnstormers. He is making his third start of the year. Brent Teller and Niall Ball have done very well as starters so far in this series. Gann looks to pick up on that. He's given up 10 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned in his 9 2/3 innings of work, walking 5 and striking out 12. He has not been involved in the decision in either of his starts. He was in position to win opening night at Gastonia. Ross had to take him out with 1 out left to be eligible. He worked 4 2/3 innings there, got 5 innings in his last time out against the High Point Rockers in the opener of that series on Tuesday night. Gave up 3 runs on 5 hits, those 3 runs scoring in the first couple of innings. Gann and Ball shut down the Rockers in the middle of that game, giving the Barnstormers the opportunity to come back, only to see that Tuesday night contest slip away, ultimately in extra innings. Gann, the 6-footer, 203 pounds from Crandall, Texas, product of Stephen F. Austin, and a former Arizona Diamondbacks farmhand. This time last year, he was getting ready to head to AAA Reno. They were still in camp last year. They opened the first week of May in 2021. He was 2-1 with Reno. The Diamondbacks let him go. He came here and was 2-1 with a 4.07 earned run average. Backing up Gann defensively, Trace Lair will make the start at third base today. Jake Hoover is at short. Melvin Mercedes has been at second base every inning so far this season. Andretti Cordero moves over to first base for the game this afternoon. Devon Torrance is in left with Ladarius Clark in center. And the right fielder is Conor Lean today. Colton Shaver is doing the catching with Gann on the hill. And here is Zach Rakuson stepping in to start things off for York. Rakuson was 2 for 3 late in the Friday night game, and now 4 for 25. Hitting 160 on the young campaign. First pitch is a called strike to the inside corner as Gann gets the afternoon underway. Wind today is blowing just about straight out towards center field. Temperatures in the 60s. Next offering, a fastball met and fouled into the screen as we go to no balls and 2 strikes on Rakuson. R-A-C-U-S-I-N. Gann delivers. This is popped up and playable. Going back on it is Mercedes, calling him off. The right fielder, Lean, Conor Lean, in to make the catch. Rakuson out on the fly ball to shallow right. Now Josue Herrera, the second baseman, will come to the plate. Herrera was a tough customer for the Barnstormers pitching staff last night. He was 2 out of 3 with a sacrifice fly to center. He scored one of the 3 York runs in the ball game, drove in another. 5 out of 20 for the utility man on this young season. He gets the start today at second base. He was the DH in last night's game. Gann to the plate, and his fastball finds the outside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1. Doug McFarling working the plate today. The first base umpire is the judge, Bill Reuter, and Joe Del Balso over at third. Here is the offering, the 0-1, fouled straight back. 5 pitches, and all 5 have been in the zone so far for Cameron Gann. Man who, when asked what his favorite non-baseball professional sports team was here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, sheepishly, to some extent, admitted to being a Dallas Cowboys fan, figuring that he would be pelted with garbage at that point, but Barnstormers fans are too polite to do that. 1 ball, 2 strikes after a pitch in the dirt. 1 away, nobody on. Melky Mesa, the left fielder, waits on deck. Gann into his windup, and the pitch is off the glove of Colton Shaver. He'll sprint to the backstop. Josue Herrera with the option there to take off for first base. He declined. The Barnstormers and Ladarius Clark did that twice here on Friday night. 2-2 on Herrera with Mesa waiting to follow. The Barnstormers have the infield shifted a bit toward the right side, but not extremely so. Gann delivers, and he wanted the strike out there, didn't get it from McFarling. The pitch was ruled low, and it's 3-2. One out in the inning. Herrera has fought back from the 0-2 count. It is now full. Shaver sets the target. Gann to the plate. Swung on and missed. And a little extra steam on that from Gann, who thought he had the last one. 2 outs. He strikes out his first of the game, and Melky Mesa, the left fielder, comes to the plate. Mesa, 7 for 18 on the season. Had a base hit up the middle in the 7th inning off of Chase Johnson last night. He had an opportunity to tie the game with 2 outs in the 8th last night. Scott Schumann came in and got him on one pitch to ground out to the shortstop for the final out in that 8th. Schumann went on to strike out the side in the 9th. Gann starts off Mesa with a good-looking breaking ball over for a strike. It's 0-1. Defense set up straight away against Mesa, who can use the entire field. The man who is currently Mr. Revolution Baseball fouled back into the net. It's 0-2. Mesa has, to some degree, become the face of the franchise. Remember, at one point years ago, it was Corey Thurman for several years. Maybe more so than anybody else in franchise history. And every once in a while, when we're there, Thurm will pop in. And when he does, believe me, I know it. My spinal column knows it. When you see Thurm, and he's a big, strong fellow, and he will give you a bear hug that, well, basically can serve to rework your entire spinal cord. Ball low and outside, 1-2. One of the great personalities on the player side in Atlantic League history. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The wind, Gann to the plate, gives Mesa a breaking ball, and Mesa's able to fight this one off. The count will continue at 1 ball and 2 strikes. And there have been those people that you've just gotten to know around this league. Daryl Thompson is one of them. Daryl's not as outgoing as Thurm, but he's a great guy. 1-2. Fastball in a little too close. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the Barnstormers, gee, imagine that, will be facing Daryl Thompson when we get to Southern Maryland on Tuesday night. Like, that's news. We always face Daryl Thompson. If they could throw him 3 times in the series against the Barnstormers, they would. Here's a 2-2, and on the hands and fouled back again. Mesa and Gann embroiled in quite the battle here in the top half of the first inning with 2 outs and nobody on board. I had seen it when Thompson was slated to throw the home opener on Wednesday. I looked at the calendar and said, oh, yeah, we get him on Tuesday. Breaking ball, strike 3 called. Mesa goes down. Gann fans 2 here in the opening inning. Nothing across for the York Revolution. We're through 1/2 inning of today's ball game. There is no score.
Lancaster County Motors Subaru once again presents the Subaru Outdoor Experience. Located along the first base line, this space welcomes fans to a different experience while attending games. The Subaru Outdoor Experience focuses on creating social engagement among the fans. Fans will identify with the Subaru Outdoor Experience, which includes games like life-size Jenga, shuffleboard, ping pong, giant checkers, and bocce ball, along with an art wall of kayak, bike, and recycling arts parts and information, a dog-kissing booth, a barbershop corner, and opportunities to engage with the local business that made this unique space possible. Come enjoy the games while watching the game.
Rock with the 5-time Tony Award-nominated musical Rock of Ages at Dutch Apple Dinner Theater, April 22nd through May 14th. When a development company plans to turn the Sunset Strip into another strip mall, it's up to a group of wannabe rockers to save the day and the music. With music from Styx, Bon Jovi, Poison, and more. Rock of Ages features all your favorite 80s rock anthems and power ballads. How can you resist? Call 717-898-1900 or visit DutchApple.com to reserve your tickets today.
Right-hander Duke van Schamen on the hill for the York Revolution today. Van Schamen backed up defensively by Carlos Franco at third. The shortstop is Edwin Figuera. Josue Herrera is at second. Nelly Rodriguez stays in at first base. The outfield has Mesa in left with J.C. Encarnacion in center and Zach Rakuson in right. Lenin Rodriguez is doing the catching for the Revs here today as Ladarius Clark gets ready to lead off. He'll be facing Van Schamen in his third season here in the Atlantic League. 6'4", 220-pounder from Edmond, Oklahoma, 30 years of age. He signed originally with the Los Angeles Dodgers, but spent the bulk of his career in major league organizations with the Cleveland Indians, eventually getting to AAA Columbus. He was 8-8 with the Akron Rubber Ducks back in 2014. He's been now in the unaffiliated leagues for 6 years. Line drive up the middle, and Herrera can't reach it. A base hit for Clark, his fifth hit of the series, and the Barnstormers already are in business. Van Schamen was roughed up in his first start of the year. He gave up 9 hits and 8 runs in that first start on the short end of a 12-3 loss to the Lexington Legends back on Tuesday. Melvin Mercedes, the batter. Mercedes with 3 extra base hits already on the year, 2 doubles, a triple. He is 6 for 36, hitting just 167, a slower start than Melvin had a year ago. Batting behind Ladarius Clark, and Rodriguez and Van Schamen will work to keep Clark close to first. He has the Barnstormers' only steal of the season. Not going here, in the first pitch, a strike to Mercedes. It is 0-1. Clark with the stolen base right at the outset of the game here on Friday, and that was somewhat the first blow in that 23-run attack. Nelly Rodriguez holds him at first. To Mercedes, the pitch is low. Ball 1, strike 1. Van Schamen will generally stay right around the strike zone. He's not overpowering by any stretch of the imagination. Last year struck out 61 batters in 139 and a third innings while walking only 38. Clark goes, swinging a foul ball back. Melvin at a ball and 2 strikes now as Clark retreats to first. Colton Shaver, the Barnstormers catcher, waits on deck. We've seen over the last 6 days, Colton Shaver can be something other than that home run or strikeout guy, kind of his advanced billing coming in, but he's on a 6-game hitting streak, and a lot of that has been singles the other way. Mercedes takes ball 2 down low from Van Schamen. He wouldn't bite for it. Melvin up there at 2 balls and 2 strikes with Shaver waiting on deck. And that's good to see, and as a result of that, Shaver is now in that number 3 spot in the batting order that often is reserved for the best all-around hitter on a ball club, somewhere where he's generally not seen. Ross has tried some different things with the offense. 2-2 to Mercedes. Ground ball stopped at the mound by Van Schamen. They'll get the out at second and have time for the play back to first, but the throw is wide, and Nelly Rodriguez can't reel it in. Mercedes safe on the fielder's choice. There was time to turn 2 there, but York missed out on the opportunity, and now Mercedes the runner with 1 out as Shaver stands in. Van Schamen did exactly what he needed to do right there. But on the conversion at second base, the throw onto Rodriguez was wide of its mark. Rodriguez got a glove on it, couldn't reel it in. Mercedes didn't advance, so no error is charged. But that's one, if the Barnstormers go on to score this inning, you can pencil in swing and a miss, and got a piece of it, and ended up between the legs of Lenin Rodriguez. So a foul ball, and it is 0-1. Ross Peoples coaching third. Good to see Ross's parents, Junior and Connie, in town. They stop up 2-3 times a year during the season. They're here for opening weekend. Throw to first base, and Mercedes is back in. Or Coach Peoples, as he is known down in the Cordele, Georgia area. Delightful, delightful folks I've had the chance to get to know over the last 17 years. 0-1, Shaver swings and hits a monstrous pop-up behind second base. Back goes the shortstop Figuera onto the outfield lawn to make the catch. Shaver's retired. 2 down, and here's the man of the weekend, Kelly Dugan, who has had an absolutely terrific series at the plate against York on opening weekend at home. He's hit 2 homers, he's hit 2 doubles, he's driven in 8 runs, 4 out of 9 in the series. He bats here with Mercedes at first base, 2 outs, no score, bottom half of the first inning. Duke van Schamen comes to the set, and to Dugan, a little bit careful on that pitch, more than a little bit careful. Off speed, down and away, virtually unreachable for the Barnstormers' designated hitter. On deck is Andretti Cordero, and it will be interesting to see if Andretti can match his performance last Sunday in our second day game of the year. To Dugan, high and outside for ball 2. And if he does, then you start to go, great talent. Maybe something needs to be adjusted in the night vision slightly. Cordero was unbelievable in the day game last Sunday. 2-0. Dugan tries to air it out. He swings and misses. He let it fly. Ahead in the count at 2-0. Hoping to clear the fences, the deck out in right center field for the 3rd straight game. The home run Friday night was hit up toward the walkway in right center. Last night cleared the 10th. 2-1 to Kelly Dugan. Goes with a foul ball back into the net. And the count is 2-2. Now, before Dugan came to the Barnstormers, he was a gap hitter very often to the opposite field, to left center. And we saw that in spring training last year. But he's, to some extent, made an adjustment to the ballpark here. But he doesn't want to overdo it. You can really get out of your game if you get that short dimension to right field in your head. 2-2. The count to Dugan. He swings and hits a drive to right. Back on it goes Rakuson looking up. And Kelly Dugan's great weekend continues here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. His 3rd multi-run homer against the Revs. He's been a one-man wrecking ball. 10 runs batted in the 3 games, and he's not done here this afternoon. A 2-run homer, and now you go back to the double play that the Revs failed to complete on the comebacker by Mercedes. 2-0 in favor of the Barnstormers in the opening inning, and here is Andretti. 278 with 2 homers, 7 runs batted in. Those home runs both hit last Sunday, and he also hit the top of the fence with what turned out to be a long single at Caramount Health Park. 3 out of 10 is Cordero in this series. He swings and hits a fly ball to right, but didn't get that much of it. Rakuson coming in for the catch. The inning is over, but the Barnstormers get the von Schamen for 2 runs on a Dugan homer. 2 hits, no errors officially, and nobody left on base. We're through 1 here in Lancaster. The Barnstormers up 2-0 over the York Revolution.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that will bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your family visit today at baseballhall.org. See you in Cooperstown, where the journey becomes legend.
They say to truly understand someone, you must walk a mile in their shoes. Well, at Lexus, we designed the ES with you in mind every step of the way. From class-leading legroom in the back to positioning the touchscreen 4 inches closer to you in the front. Everything in the Lexus ES, a direct reflection of you. See Bobby Ray Hall Lexus in Mechanicsburg or Lancaster County.
2022 ES versus 2021-2022 competitors. Information from manufacturers' websites as of 5/3/2021.
For the youth of our area, the Barnstormers are offering a wide variety of camps throughout the summer to teach everyone some tips on baseball and softball. Camps are offered to kids as young as 4 and as old as 12. Some even involve the parents. They run from June 11th all the way through September 17. For more information, go to LancasterBarnstormers.com and click on the Youth Baseball tab. All presented by Orthopedic Associates of Lancaster and Play It Again Sports.
Kelly Dugan providing Cameron Gann with the early lead. They are friends from the Arizona organization. In fact, when it comes to Gann, Southern Maryland was trying to acquire his services at the same time that the Barnstormers were last August, and the Barnstormers ended up on the winning end of it because of Kelly and Gabriel Moya being here. Both have been teammates with Gann in the Arizona system. Up high for a ball to Nelly Rodriguez. He is the designated hitter today. Pardon me, it wasn't him. It was Castro at first base. Now Rodriguez lifts a fly ball foul and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gann set the side down in order in the top of the first. Now to the DH Rodriguez. Fastball is across, and Cam is ahead in the count at a ball and 2 strikes. Straight over the top fires Cameron Gann, who was a starter in college and a reliever during his entire time in the Arizona system. Partial swing. He went too far on the off-speed pitch. Rodriguez goes down. And that is 3 strikeouts for Gann, with the third baseman Carlos Franco checking in. Franco 235 with 3 home runs, 11 runs batted in. He's 2 for 7 in this series, but he hasn't been able to do any damage. He's had a single in each of the first 2 games of this series. He has drawn 3 walks in the first 2 games. Gann will deliver. Fastball cut on and missed. And he's ahead of Franco at 0-1. Gann tied the season high for the Barnstormers last year. 11 strikeouts in his first ever professional start. 5 innings only against Charleston. Foul ball back to the net, and it's 0-2. Gann is wasting little time. Received a note from the league just a while ago that they're very intent on enforcing all the pace of play rules. The times of the games have been longer than they anticipated this year, and they feel that there are certain things going on that are slowing down the games. They have the rules in place. They just felt maybe they're not being enforced. 15 seconds between pitches with the bases empty and 105 seconds between innings. High fly ball, straightaway center. In just a couple of steps, walking toward it is Clark. 5th out in a row for Gann, 2 away. And Carlos Castro, playing first base today, will step in. Castro is 5 out of 29 with 2 doubles, 3 runs driven in. This Revolution offense has not gotten into gear yet, but the Mesa, Rodriguez, Franco, Castro foursome in the middle of the order, that is a fearsome foursome, and you know that eventually that club will break loose and score a lot of runs. The question for York, can they keep the opposition from scoring a lot of runs? First pitch strike, and it's 0-1. We were talking about the great numbers put up by the High Point and Gastonia pitching staff. Fastball cut on and missed. Gann firing at 92, 93 miles per hour with his fastball here in the early innings. He should be able to maintain it for 5 or 6. 0-2 is upstairs. That could be setting up something else. Ball 1 and 2 strikes on Castro. But at the bottom of the pack in Atlantic League pitching is York. Swing and a miss. Gann claims another victim. That's 4. Nothing doing in the York half of the second inning. The Barnstormers have the early start today. We'll go to the bottom of the second, leading by 2.
This season offers a whole line of new items from Otto's Hospitality. Dig into the world-famous Nathan's Hot Dogs. Take a trip to Otto's Cantina for a walking taco or your favorite adult beverage. Enjoy a helmet of Otto's meatballs or a sausage with peppers from the Broken Bat Deck. For the sweet tooth, there are jumbo chocolate chip cookies, Skyline cotton candy, and ice cream novelties. Or simply snack on Emma's popcorn in a variety of exciting flavors. What a great way to savor your time at the ballpark, courtesy of Otto's.
There is a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience full of family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 22nd through 25th for the induction of Bud Fowler, Gil Hodges, Jim Cott, Minnie Minoso, Tony Oliva, Buck O'Neill, and David Ortiz as the class of 2022. Visit baseballhall.org today for the
Lancaster with a 2-0 lead, and a man who's had a marvelous start to his 2022 campaign, although he's been uprooted as of a couple of days ago. Conor Lean will open up the Barnstormers' half of the second inning. Lean has come here. He's had 2 doubles and a triple in 4 at-bats, but through Thursday, he belonged to the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, and he was 4 for 11 there, with a triple, a home run, and 6 runs batted in. Now he has a slugging percentage of over 1,000 right now. Right-handed batter, born in Annapolis, Maryland, resides in Orlando. Trace Lair and Jake Hoover will follow here in the second inning against Duke von Schaman. The right-hander into his motion. Lean with a big swing and a foul back to the padding. No balls and a strike. Conor Lean in his first season in the Atlantic League. He was batting in the middle of the order when Southern Maryland came here for the spring training game about 18 days ago. Fastball is up. Ball 1 and a strike. But that's all part of the business. Sometimes you end up getting dealt, and you look for a new opportunity. Ball 2, 2-1. Barnstormers have Mark Zepchinsky. He's used to it. He pitched for 7 different major league teams. 2-1. Lean with a foul ball up to the rooftop on the first base side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lean, 28 years of age, 6'3", 225-pounder. He was a Braves farmhand. And Josh Graham would have crossed paths in that organization. Bouncer foul, still 2-2. Graham was the first of the new players that came in here this year that I had a chance to meet. He is an extraordinarily friendly fellow. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lean takes ball 3 from von Schaman. The count goes to full. The Barnstormers up by a pair here as Kelly Dugan continues to stake claim that this is now his ballpark. It was Blake Galen's ballpark for years. Now Kelly trying to take ownership here. Swing and a miss. Lean is gone on strikes. The first for von Schaman. Trace Lair, the third baseman, will come to the plate. Of course, Kelly has a long ways to go to catch up to Galen's career home run mark as a Barnstormer. 117 for Blake. And that's where it will end. Blake now coaching in the LA Dodgers organization. Breaking ball is inside, 1-0. Time marches on. Sometimes you get to know these guys so well and they become part of our family here in Lancaster, and maybe nobody more so than Blake Galen. Chopper to first, taken by Castro himself. Lairs retired, 3 unassisted, and Jake Hoover now will step in. But eventually, the skills wane, the need to move on is there, and we must say farewell to these guys as players, but you always want to maintain that connection. And if there's ever a Barnstormers Hall of Fame, or we have maybe in our 20th season a couple of years down the road, just like Somerset did, the 20 greatest players of all time in franchise history, Galen certainly would be on that list. There's no question about that. Inside a ball 1-0, and perhaps, just perhaps, if the timing works out, you can get a visit. 1-0. High fly ball over on the right side, twisting out of play. Hoover and Van Schamen are square at 1 each. The Barnstormers lead in the ball game 2-0 on the Dugan home run in the first inning. So start thinking about that. If you've been, I don't know exactly how we're going to do that, fan vote, or just take some people who have been season ticket holders since the beginning, and maybe some media members who have been around since the beginning. Some kind of panel. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do it, but that's something to start thinking about if you have been with us all along. Your 20 top players in Barnstormers history. 2-1. Hoover with a dribbler at the plate, fouled that off his foot. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jake has been banged up here the first week and a half or so of this season. He's had to sit out twice with different bumps and bruises, and it's because he gives it his all in the field. He just risks life and limb out there every play. He made another unbelievable catch on a pop-up here last night. And the 2-2 taken down and away. Van Schamen going to an extraordinary number of full counts in this ball game. Generally, the ball's in play by now when Van Schamen is on the hill. He hasn't walked anybody. He has struck out 1. Hoover, the 8th man to step in against him. 3-2 pitch, and Jake hits it to straightaway center. Virtually in his tracks is Encarnacion. The Barnstormers out in order in the bottom half of the second inning. Van Schamen sets him down 1-2-3. And at the end of 2 in Lancaster, the Barnstormers hold the 2-0 lead.
Being over 55 does not mean a ticket, it means 10 with the Silver Stormers Club, presented by the Lancaster Barnstormers and Audiology Associates of Lancaster. Anyone 55 and over can enjoy baseball action at every Tuesday home game for only $50 on the season. That is nearly a 70% savings. Members also receive a special Silver Stormers t-shirt to wear proudly at the stadium. For more information or to sign up, go to LancasterBarnstormers.com and look in the season tickets section.
Cameron Gann has dominated the York Revolution through the first 2 innings. How long can he keep up the pace? He has struck out 4 and retired 2 on routine fly balls. JC Encarnacion will lead off. He has just arrived to join, pardon me,
nominated musical Rock of Ages at Dutch
break
Apple Dinner
still
Theater,
has a
April
glitch in
22nd
it.
through May 14th, when a development.
There we go. We'll get to Dutch Apple in a moment. First pitch to Encarnacion, fouled off. It's 0-1. JC Encarnacion got his visa, got into the country. It's always a work in progress, and as we saw on the Barnstormers side, Oscar De La Cruz coming in about a week after the arrivals of Anderson Felice and Andretti Cordero. So much paperwork is involved. You apply for all the visas on one form, but that doesn't mean they will all get approved, get their appointments with the embassy, and be able to arrive here at the same time. 0-2 on Encarnacion. Fastball down and away, ball 1, 2 strikes. But if there's somebody who really serves as the epitome of how York builds its clubs, it's Encarnacion. Here is a guy who floated around the Orioles system last year and now drives the ball to right center field. This is trouble. Back goes Clark, racing toward the fence, and the walls will not contain it. His first at bat, back in a York uniform, leaves Clipper Magazine Stadium, the right center field. Encarnacion with the home run, and it is now 2-1. My point is, a few of these guys went to Mexico for a while last year, and York was short on its roster and needed to reload. They were able to go out and get Encarnacion, a little-known guy. He had been floating around the Orioles organization. They released him. Encarnacion jumped in and ended up hitting .295 with 9 home runs. He got off to a great start. The Barnstormers were there. First pitch to Edwin Figuera, the shortstop, is low. It is ball 1 and no strikes. Figuera 0 for 2 in the series so far. He stepped in for Elmer Reyes in the middle of the game Friday night. Gann is inside and falls back 2 balls and no strikes. The home run by Encarnacion, bringing York back to within 1 here on this overcast, very gray and a little bit gloomy Sunday afternoon. We had a couple of sprinkles earlier. Fly ball right center field. This should stay in the yard. Over goes Lean toward right center. The right fielder making the catch. Third fly ball out behind Gann today. 1 out. And Lenin Rodriguez, the catcher, will step in. 1 out of 4 with a run batted in so far this year. York is always seemingly able to find those younger guys with Latin American roots. Maybe you've only gotten to single A or double A in other organizations, and they join the Revs, and they just fit right into the flow of everything going on. Fouled off to the right. Rodriguez batting at 0-1. And the Revs, a team, we've watched it for years with Mark Mason at the helm, swung on and missed. It's 0-2. They just build and build and build as the season goes along. You actually like catching York early. 0-2, and Rodriguez slices a foul out of play to the right. Still 2 strikes in the count. The Barnstormers have a similar reputation of being a second-half team. 0-2, check swing and a foul. It definitely the case in 2015. The Barnstormers did not fare well in the first half that year and then came on strong and won 41 of the last 57 of the season, took the second half, and they were odds-on favorites to win the championship that year. And who got in the way? Oh, yeah, that guy we're facing Tuesday night, Daryl Thompson. His name surfaces over and over and over again in the last 10 years of Barnstormers baseball whenever they face the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. He threw the shutout in Game 1 of the 2015 Division Series here in Lancaster. Smashed and a base hit to left for Lenin Rodriguez. Second hit of the inning, second hit off Gann. And Zach Rakuson will face Gann the second time around. Rakuson with a fly out to Lean in right field, his first time up. That's 1 out, 1 on. Barnstormers with the 2-1 lead here in the third inning. Thompson has the most wins in Atlantic League history. He has the most wins against the Barnstormers in our franchise history. And we'll see him again on Tuesday night. I've seen it coming, seeing how the schedule is stacked up. As soon as Southern Maryland decided to call off the Tuesday opener because of the inclement weather forecast. That set Thompson up to pitch Wednesday night. They're not bringing him back on 3 days rest. We get him in the series opener as long as the games are played. It's such a joke. I looked at Thompson when he made the start here for the exhibition game on the 13th of April. Foul ball back by Rakuson. It's 0-2. I looked at him in the clubhouse. They said, it's a spring training game. We got to face you again? I mean, it seems every time the Barnstormers and the Blue Crabs get together, Daryl Thompson pitches the opener. It's never ending. Rodriguez at first with one out. Gann comes set. There's a swing and a miss, and that will do it for Rakuson. 5 strikeouts for Cameron Gann now. Here's Josue Herrera, the second baseman. He went down swinging back in the first inning. With the crowd in here today, you can't hear Gann grunting as he releases every pitch. He does. When the ballpark is silent for, say, at one of those spring exhibition games, you can hear it very clearly. Breaking ball dealt low and inside to Herrera. 1 ball and no strikes. Barnstormers 2, the York Revolution 1. All the runs scoring on long balls so far today. Dugan with a man aboard in the first, and Encarnacion leading off this inning. Here's the pitch. Herrera will take ball 2 upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. Melky Mesa, the left fielder, waits on deck. Gann worked Mesa over back in the first inning. Mesa saw some terrific pitches and a great breaking ball for the called third strike. 2-0. The count to Josue Herrera. Swings and misses as Gann took something off. It's 2-1. And there was a case, the mechanics consistent. It looked from here anyway like Gann was coming with another fastball, but that clocked at just 85, not 92 or 93. And it had the timing of Herrera off. The next pitch is the fastball for a called strike. 2-2. It's not all about throwing hard. Sometimes you get the impression that it is, but it really isn't. It's about mixing speeds, mixing locations, and mixing angles to keep the hitters off stride. 2-2. Runner holds. Breaking ball. See you later. Strike 3 called. On the inside corner, Gann gave him the breaking pitch, and Cam Gann now has struck out 6 here today. Encarnacion gets York on the board with the leadoff home run, 2 hits and 1 man left. We're in the middle of the third at Clipper Magazine Stadium. The Barnstormers ahead of the York Revolution, and it is now 2-1.
Are you sick and tired of washers that don't use enough water or take 2 hours to clean and don't last more than a few years? Well, come into Gockenauer's in East Petersburg now and let us show you the Speed Queen commercial grade laundry. Built the old-fashioned way with warranties up to 7 full years. Gockenauer's will deliver and install your new Speed Queen, and we know you'll be fully satisfied with your purchase. Gockenauer's in East Petersburg, your hometown dealer for 73 years.
At Clipper Magazine Stadium, we have hot dogs and popcorn, peanuts, soda, and nachos. But what if, say, you are only 3 months old and mom wants to have a night out and watch the Barnstormers? Well, thanks to May Grant Obstetrics and Gynecology, the littlest of Stormer fans now have a place to go for dinner during the game. Tots can take mom to the Little Sluggers dugout behind Section 13 at the stadium for a comfortable private feeding experience. A brightly painted room with comfortable furniture and TVs tuned to the game, it is the perfect spot for baby and mom during a night at the ballpark.
Knockoffs, copycats, imitators. They all share one thing in common. They always pale in comparison next to the true original. Just like the stylish and versatile Lexus RX. The crossover that paved the way for others. And it's still the best for one simple reason. Nothing else is as good as the original. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg or Lancaster County.
Devon Torrance leads off the third inning for the Barnstormers. Devon 2 out of 13 so far on the year with a double, getting the opportunity to start here on Sunday. Darius Clark and Melvin Mercedes will follow. Torrance looks at an off-speed pitch from Von Schamen away. It's 1-0. This is the only Atlantic League game that has gotten very far today. Bottom of the third with the Barnstormers leading by 1. Fouled back by Devon. The count is level at 1-1 Long Island and Lexington about 19 minutes away. The same true with the Wild Health Genomes at Southern Maryland. Both 2:05 starts. Charleston at High Point and Staten Island at Gastonia coming up after 4. So Torrance fouled away. Make it 1-2. 2-run homer by Kelly Dugan in the bottom of the first inning, staking the Barnstormers to a lead. J.C. Encarnacion getting York back to within 1 with a long ball of his own. In the top half of this inning, that is where we sit. Torrance batting 1-2 against Von Schamen, who's given up a couple of base hits so far. Dribbler foul up the line at first. Torrance protecting his turn at the plate with that swing. Ball 1 2 strikes. Defense set straight away. And it is upstairs to the man who grew up in the shadow of the Football Hall of Fame and is a huge football fan, Devon Torrance. 2-2. Fouled away again. Still 2-2. Torrance up there battling. He'll tell you there are different workout regimens to get ready for football and to get ready for baseball, and that's what makes you appreciate somebody like Bo Jackson or Deion Sanders, who went back and forth. 2-2. Torrance looks at a fastball from Von Schamen just inside. It's another full count from the right-hander. And again, it's unusual for him to go to 3-2 this often. Here's the payoff. Ground ball right side and a base hit for Devon Torrance. He is on, leading off the third inning. On the 8th pitch of a very fine at-bat for the Barnstormers outfielder. Torrance on board. Ladarius Clark coming to the plate. Gann has thrown 51 pitches through his first 3 innings. Von Schamen has thrown only 37, despite the fact that it seems like he's been 3-2 so often. Here is Clark. Torrance takes off, a swing and a foul. The Barnstormers employing the hit and run, but can't get the ball down. 0-1 to Clark, who singled his first time up and then was forced at second by Mercedes. Defense looking to turn 2. The Barnstormers may never give them that chance. Ladarius Clark bats 0-1, swing and a miss. Couple of strikes to the Barnstormers center fielder as Lancaster looks to build a threat in the bottom half of the third. Ross has, of course, a history of being very aggressive on the bases. Nothing's been working out on that front this year, at least not yet. Ground ball to third. That will be handled. The throw to second for 1, and this time they turn the double play. Franco to Herrera and on to Castro, who had to dig it out of the dirt. Clark grounds into the double play, and with 2 outs, Melvin Mercedes will come to the plate. The Barnstormers just have not been able to employ what we like to think of as Ross ball at all this season. Usually you'll see, especially early in the year, about a stolen base and a half or 2 steals a game. For the Barnstormers only to have 1 stolen base at this point is really bizarre because the guys are here to do it. Clark a base stealer, Torrance a base stealer, Mercedes can steal some bases. You're going to see Conor Lean, I think, add a few. Hoover can steal some bases. Inside and low, 2-0, but it's like every time the Barnstormers put something on, it backfires this year. 2 balls, no strikes to Mercedes with 2 outs and nobody on. And of course, you've got Van Schamen, who is largely a ground ball pitcher, and he's going to get those double plays. 2-0, taken low, and now Melvin has a 3-ball count. Van Schamen has yet to give up ball 4. 1 strikeout for him on the day. Here is the 3-0, delivered to the zone for a called strike. Melvin flex, didn't go. It's 3-1 with Colton Shaver, the catcher, due next. Defense spread out here against Mercedes. We haven't seen the Barnstormers successfully lay a bunt down this year. Breaking ball for a strike, and it's 3-2. So it's really gone against the grain of what we've seen from Ross Peoples in the past. We did see an attempt at a hit and run earlier this inning, but the Barnstormers couldn't get the ball on the ground. Time called here. And this is where the idea of the pitch clock can be a little confusing. Van Schamen was ready to go, but Mercedes needed a break. Here's the 3-2. Hopper toward first and foul. So if you cross the 15-second plane, whose fault is it? You get to 12 seconds, and the batter asks for a timeout and backs away. You can't blame the pitcher for not throwing. I like the idea of the pitch clock in general. Some guys just take far too long in between pitches. Here is the payoff. Mercedes with a foul looping over on the left side. And we remain at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Barnstormers 2, Revs 1, bottom of the 3rd inning here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Still more than a month away before we start our Blue Ridge 11 telecasts. Ball 4 is down low. Mercedes gets the first walk issued by Van Schamen. They are rare. Colton Shaver will come to the plate. I believe June 5th is our first telecast of the year, but Blue Ridge will be with us during that huge chunk of home games in the middle of the season from early June to mid-August. Of course, not every game. I believe they're scheduled to do 25 in that span. Inside to Colton. Ball 1, no strikes. Good to see this guy off to the start he has put together here. 297 at this moment in time with a homer, 5 driven in. 1 ball and nothing. Van Schamen is inside to him for ball 2. It is 2-0. But you don't want to see Shaver alter his swing to go to right field here because he's got the power to clear the fences to left. That 370 early in left field is not going to stop him. 2-0. He goes the other way with a foul fly ball. 2-1. And the Barnstormers have had some terrific power from the right side of the plate over the years. Ryan Harvey, Tommy Everidge, Aaron Herr, and others, and I guess more recently, Sean Halton. Throw to first base, Mercedes, who has not tried to steal all year, is back in. Lancaster with the 1-run lead, Shaver batting, and that guy, Kelly Dugan, is on deck. Two balls, 1 strike, the set, and a Shaver again popped up. This one toward the middle of the diamond, third base side of the mound. It is taken by Castro to end the inning. Second straight pop-up off the bat of Colton Shaver. No runs on a hit, no errors, and the Barnstormers strand one in the bottom half of the third inning. We are through 3 here in Lancaster. The Barnstormers leading the Revs by the score of 2-1.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
3 innings have been logged here today. The Barnstormers 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, 1 left. York 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. And 1 man stranded. Cameron Gann out for the 4th inning of baseball here today. He'll be facing the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Melky Mason, Nelly Rodriguez, and Carlos Franco. If you were listening very carefully and you know about the great mathematical properties of box scores, you would have known that the 3, 4, and 5 hitters were due up. When I said 1 run through 3 innings and 1 man left on base. That means 11 guys have batted. And Mesa is scheduled. He struck out looking back in the 1st inning. One of the great brain teasers that has ever been presented to me was given to me by my very good friend Tom Knapp, who was a statistics professor, a brilliant guy, and had his PhD from Harvard. First pitch fouled away, 0-1. Tom was the father of my best friend as a kid, but we totally bonded over basically baseball stats. He was a baseball stats junkie in the early days. He gave me this puzzle once out of the Harvard Alumni Magazine, and it was fantastic. It was a Yankees-Kansas City playoff game from the 70s. No balls, 2 strikes, the count to Mesa. That's in on the hands and fouled off. And they zeroed out who scored the runs for the Kansas City Royals and gave you the rest of the box score. And the puzzle was who scored the Kansas City run. Maybe it was the Yankees runs, but it was one team or the other. Who scored the runs? And it was solvable just from the rest of the box score. Grounded to third. That is a clean pickup for Lair. He throws out Mesa, 1 gone. Nelly Rodriguez, the designated hitter, will come to the plate. He struck out back in the 2nd inning. Now, I am a self-described math geek, so that puzzle was right up my alley. It might be the best brain teaser that I have ever seen. If you're a baseball fan and a stats person, one out, nobody on base, and a fastball over at the knees on Nelly. It is 0-1. Gann has struck out 6. The pace has slowed a little. That he is a big strikeout guy. And should Cam Gann be here all year, and you hope for his sake he isn't, the Atlantic League is about cycling players back to major league organizations, but let's just project it out. If he is here all year, if he stays healthy, I've got to think John Anderson's record of 140 strikeouts in a season probably will be in danger. Here is the 1-1 pitch, and it is upstairs to Rodriguez. 2 balls and 1 strike. Anderson fanned 140 for the Barnstormers back in 2019. 2-1. Gann over the top, and this ball is hit high to right field. originally going parallel to the warning track, and now coming in as Lean. He'll make the catch. 2 are out. And Carlos Franco, the third baseman, will come to the plate. Franco flied to center back in the second inning. I'd get a kick out of it right now if Tom Knapp were listening. He is in his 90s and still going strong, sharp as a tack. I got the opportunity to teach a graduate level class with him at one point. He is one of the people that created this monster that I am. Fouled to the screen. It is 0-1, and I like to pay tribute to Tom every once in a while because not only is he one of the smartest people I've ever known, but one of the most genuine and personable people I've ever known. No balls, 1 strike. Fastball is wide, and he has been to a couple Barnstormers games. Made the trip through here a couple of times in years gone by. Here's a 1-1. The check swing, he did not go. I actually thought the location of the pitch was closer to being a strike than the swing was there, but Doug McFarling saw it differently. 2-1 to Franco. 2 outs, nobody on. Top half of the 4th inning. We may have to battle the weather here eventually. Fastball runs outside. Gann trailing Franco 3-1. Carlos Franco with 3 home runs in the early going this season. 3 players in the league have hit 4. Joseph Rosa, the infielder for Gastonia. We ran into him a lot last weekend. He hit 2 against us. Popped up on the left side. Jake Hoover fading back into shallow left to make the catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning. Just to complete the thought, the other 2 with 4 home runs, Quincy Lattimore of the High Point Rockers and Jared Walker of Southern Maryland. Gann sets the side down in order. Here in the top half of the 4th inning, 3.5 are logged, and the Barnstormers continue to stay in front by the score of 2-1.
There is a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience full of family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 22nd through 25th for the induction of Bud Fowler, Gil Hodges, Jim Cott, Manny Minoso, Tony Oliva, Buck O'Neill, and David Ortiz as the class of 2022. Visit baseballhall.org today for the
Hey kids, join the coolest club in town, the Storm Force. The Storm Force is presented by the Lancaster Barnstormers and Commonwealth Charter Academy. For only $25, kids under 12 get an entire summer of Barnstormers fun with 12 game tickets, a t-shirt and bag, the chance to go first when kids run the bases, exclusive activities, and coupons from Dutch Wonderland, Chocolate World, and more. Don't miss out on all the fun. Go to LancasterBarnstormers.com and sign up.
The Rains have arrived here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, but we shall play on. I was just about to look at the radar. And we're supposed to arrive at about 2 o'clock, and sometimes the much maligned weather forecasters catch heat for getting things wrong, but they had this pretty much spot on here today. Temperatures in the mid-60s in Lancaster, a shower now falling, and Kelly Dugan leading off. This has turned out to be Weekend at Kelly's, but unlike Weekend at Bernie's, where the main character was deceased, Kelly Dugan has been very much alive here this weekend. He has had an incredible 3-game series that's included 5 extra base hits and 10 runs batted in. He had a 2-run homer back in the first inning today. Von Schaman will work to him, and that is slapped up the middle for a base hit to center. Dugan has the Barnstormers underway here in the 4th inning. That is the 3rd inning out of 4 that the Barnstormers have had the leadoff man reach base, something they had such an incredibly hard time doing on the road trip. It is just amazing what has happened with the Barnstormers coming back home. And, of course, there are some people taking credit for the Barnstormers' success at home. And Blake Glass, our clubhouse manager, made what I thought was a little bit of a crack the other night about the home cooking in the clubhouse. And Blake has learned to be the master of the crock pots downstairs. Ball one is outside 1-0. But he says, actually, I have a point here. Because they get fed so well here, and it's not always the case on the road. And I'm not going to want to point fingers. You know the Barnstormers will get taken care of. Our man Emil Caccaro up on Long Island, who's been the clubhouse manager there about the same length of time that I've been here. He's phenomenal. As a matter of fact, I pay clubhouse dues on Long Island. Nowhere really to eat after the game, so I make sure Emil feeds me. I don't think it's fair to run off with the food and not pay. 3 balls and no strikes to Cordero. Conor Lean, the right fielder, waits on deck. Kelly Dugan, the base runner, here in the bottom of the 4th. Cordero will draw a walk. And the Barnstormers have things set up with men at first and second, nobody out, and Conor Lean coming to the plate in a 2-1 ball game. And now Ross has to make some calculations about the weather. What has he heard? We're going to have a mound visit from Mark Mason, who does serve as the pitching coach as well as the manager for York, and he's going to pull Van Schamen here. The Barnstormers with runners at first and second, nobody out. And when I talk about making the calculations based on what you've heard about the weather, now under Atlantic League rules, you're not allowed to have any kind of electronic communication device in the dugout. Only the trainers are allowed to, and the trainers are only allowed to have a cell phone to call for medical assistance if necessary. Any other communication you're not allowed to have, so it's tough to know what the radar looks like. And it looks like we're going to have these showers around for a little bit. Will they get hard enough to halt play here this afternoon? We've gotten to the bottom of the 4th inning, but the York Revolution going to the bullpen at this point. They do have a couple of lefties out there. We have not seen one yet in this series. And now it will be Robinson Para, another right-hander coming in. While Para gets ready, we're going to go back for these messages.
Rock with the 5-time Tony Award-nominated musical Rock of Ages at Dutch Apple Dinner Theater, April 22nd through May 14th. When a development company plans to turn the Sunset Strip into another strip mall, it's up to a group of wannabe rockers to save the day and the music. With music from Styx, Bon Jovi, Poison, and more, Rock of Ages features all your favorite 80s rock anthems and power ballads. How can you resist? Call 717-898-1900 or visit DutchApple.com to reserve your tickets today.
Robinson Para has taken over in the bottom of the 4th inning. Para from Venezuela originally, lives in Kissimmee, Florida. He is just 23 years of age, 6'3", and 210-pounder. He had been in the Boston Red Sox organization, but never played above the rookie level. In fact, he was in the Dominican Summer League from 18 to 21 as a youngster. And pretty good numbers there, 10-4, 3.29 earned run average. Conor Lean, the batter for the Barnstormers, with Kelly Dugan at second and Andretti Cordero at first. Nobody out in the lower half of the 4th inning. Lean, a strikeout victim, back in the 2nd. Does Ross lay a bunt down here? Lean will swing away, pop it up foul. It is no balls and a strike. Van Schamen goes 3, giving up 4 hits and 2 walks with 1 strikeout. He gets lifted after allowing the first 2 men to reach base in this 4th inning. No balls, 1 strike to Lean. Breaking ball, and that is yanked deep to left field. Racing back is Mesa. He won't get there. It's another extra base hit for Lean. Here comes Dugan around. Here comes Cordero. He's being waved home. There will be a long throw to the plate, not in time. On that throw, Lean goes to third, and he is tagged out at third base. Did Lean pop off the bag because it looked like he had the throw beaten? And Ross Peoples is going to inquire that very thing of Joe Del Balso, that Conor Lean with a 2-run double to left. He is thrown out on the relay back to third, trying to take the extra base. That's the first out of the inning. The Barnstormers are up 4-1. Lean has 4 extra base hits in 6 at-bats wearing a Lancaster uniform. Trace Lair stands in. He grounded out his first trip and now looks at an offering low from Para, ball 1. Those 2 runs are charged to Van Schamen, so the book closes on him today with 4 runs all earned in his 3+ innings. Para working to Lair at 1 ball and no strikes, and Trace will see another come in low. 2 balls and nothing. It will be interesting to see how Ross weaves his outfielders in and out over the course of time with Lean now being here. He looks like a good defensive player in the outfield. He does not have a great career track record of hitting for average, but boy, he started this season well. Ball 3 is outside, 3-1. Is now overall, Lean has 6 extra base hits in 17 at-bats, and he's driven in 8 runs. Here is the 3-1 to Lair, and Trace gives one a ride, but foul, hooking it past the broken bat deck and out to the player lot and hopefully over the player lot. As someone who's had his back windshield smashed out there, thank you, Sugarland Skeeters. I know how dangerous it can be parking out there. 3-2, the count to Lair. 1 out in the inning as Lean was thrown out trying to take third. Here's the payoff. Lair knocks a foul in the opposite direction. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes. The shortstop Hoover waits on deck. Barnstormers up by 3 here in the bottom half of the 4th with rain falling. Looks like we've got a pretty good chance of rain at Southern Maryland on Wednesday. 3-2, off speed and fouled. The count continues. Gee, we're going to Southern Maryland. We're facing Daryl Thompson, and it's supposed to rain. Water's wet. The sun rose in the east, et cetera, et cetera. All those truisms. Lair has to go back for some added substance to apply to the bat handle. Not always pine tar these days. 3 balls and 2 strikes, just as long as you don't go past the legal point and turn into George Brett. Has there ever been a ball player more irate about anything than Brett was having that home run taken away from him? That was, what, a good 40 years ago now. Lair can't hold on the swing. He got fooled by Para and goes down on strikes. Leaves this inning to Jake Hoover. The youthful-faced Barnstormer shortstop. Jake is 24. He'll turn 25 in July. But he's one of those players, my wife would look at his photo or watch him on the field and go, since when have you been signing high schoolers? Ball 1, no strikes to the Michigander. Power to the plate, and Hoover hits a fly ball to fairly deep right field. Did he get enough? Rakuson is going back. Rakuson out to the wall, and he hauls it in and then stumbles and goes down on the track, but he gets up quickly. Good play by Zach Rakuson in right field. Sooner or later, Jake Hoover will clear the fences out there onto the deck. It hasn't happened yet. The Barnstormers scored 2 on the double by Conor Lean, though. 2 hits, no errors. And as it turns out, nobody left on base. So through 4 now. Here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, the Barnstormers are atop the York Revolution by the score of 4-1.
There is a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience full of family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 22nd through 25th for the induction of Bud Fowler, Gil Hodges, Jim Cott, Minnie Minoso, Tony Oliva, Buck O'Neill, and David Ortiz as the class of 2022. Visit baseballhall.org today for the
Hey kids, join the coolest club in town, the Storm Force. The Storm Force is presented by the Lancaster Barnstormers and Commonwealth Charter Academy. For only $25, kids under 12 get an entire summer of Barnstormers fun with 12 game tickets, a t-shirt and bag, the chance to go first when kids run the bases, exclusive activities, and coupons from Dutch Wonderland, Chocolate World, and more. Don't miss out on all the fun. Go to LancasterBarnstormers.com and sign up.
Well, the Barnstormers need to get 3 outs in the top of the 5th to log the official game here today. 4-1, Barnstormers in the lead. Castro, Encarnacion, and Figuera, the scheduled hitters. There was a game last year against Southern Maryland where we were 1-1. Can't remember who threw that game for Southern Maryland. I don't think it was Daryl Thompson, but you might almost assume that it was. But I remember it was Cody Boydston for the Barnstormers, and Cody was pitching extremely well in that 1-1 game until the rain started to come down in the top of the 5th inning, and he lost his control, and Alex Crosby cleared the bases with a double. By the time the Barnstormers got to the plate in the bottom of the 5th, they wanted to get the game in, but the base paths were the equivalent of a slip and slide, and Lancaster just couldn't get anywhere. Here is Carlos Castro, off to a slower start this year. He struck out his first time up today, just 5 out of 30 on the young campaign. The Revs are playing their 9th game. The reason for the difference is the Long Island Ducks wanted to have their home opener on Friday, and you can't blame them for that. So York and Long Island did not play that Thursday night, the 21st of April, where everyone else in the league did. First pitch in for a strike. It is 0-1. The other game that has not been played was the scheduled opener at Southern Maryland on Tuesday against Staten Island. High pop fly here, shallow left field. Back goes Hoover. Looking up through the raindrops, Jake makes the catch. That's 2 putouts in a row for the Lancaster shortstop, 1 away. The batter will be J.C. Encarnacion, who's been the only headache so far today for Cam Gann. Encarnacion with a leadoff homer back in the 3rd inning toward right center field. Gann has avoided the base on balls today. That is a good sign. He struck out 6, and he has checked the Revs on 2 hits. Bouncer to 3rd. It stays low. Lair stays with it. Floats the throw across the diamond, and Gann has set down his 7th in a row. 2 up and 2 down here in the top of the 5th. Edwin Figuera, the shortstop, will come to the plate. Now he's all that stands between the Barnstormers and an official game this afternoon, but the rain is still not hard enough for the umpiring crew to contemplate halting the action. Bill Reuter would be the chief of this 3-man crew. First delivery is a ball inside on Figuera. It is 1-0. Lancaster leading 4-1 here in the home half of the 5th inning. Trying to complete a sweep of a 3-game series against York. Breaking ball is taken for a strike. It's 1-1. We do have some fans here where it's more important for the Barnstormers to win the War of the Roses, get the Community Cup, than it is to win the season in the league championship. Fouled to the right, now to play. It's 1-2. And we've got some folks, if the Barnstormers lose the season series to the Revs, I mean, they are irate. And it has happened the last 2 seasons. 1-2, ground ball, shortstop. Hoover will dig it out. He's got the long throw, but he guns down Figuera. 8 straight, retired by Cam Gann, who is sailing along here today. Nothing across. In the top of the 5th, we are official this afternoon. The Barnstormers lead it by a 4-1 score.
Hi everyone, Adam Gochenauer from Gochenauer Appliances, and I'm excited to tell you about a new addition to the Gochenauers family this summer season. We are now selling Titus gas grills. Titus gas grills gives you a high quality, all stainless steel grill at an affordable price. And the best thing is you can assemble it yourself in just 5 minutes. That's right, 5 minutes. Stop by to see this great grill now and mention this ad to receive a free gas grill cover with your Titus grill purchase. Gochenauers in East Petersburg.
Pennsylvanians are creating their own soundtrack. Thanks to PA Lottery Scratch-Offs, excitement's back. Pennies, nickels, dimes, or quarters, no matter your choice, scratching's always in order. With big top prizes and second chance drawings, thrills await. They're out there calling. If it's excitement you seek and you're looking for action, play the PA Lottery. And keep on scratching. Must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
We'll see the third right-hander for the York Revolution in this ball game. Isaac Sanchez taking over for the bottom half of the 5th inning. Sanchez started last year at High Point and within the first couple of weeks of the season was on his way to the Revs, and he stayed there for the remainder of the year. He is a 29-year-old from the Bronx originally, now calling Chicago home. 6'1". And 190 pounds, the measurements on Isaac Sanchez. He had played in the Pittsburgh and Seattle organizations and then spent some time in the Frontier League at Schaumburg and Joliet. Last year in the Atlantic League, he ended up 5-0 with an earned run average just on the wrong side of 4.5. Devon Torrance, Ladarius Clark, and Melvin Mercedes, the scheduled Barnstormers hitters as we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Robinson Parra worked the 4th. He got the 3 outs, giving up 1 hit. No runs of his own, but he did allow the 2 inherited runners to score. And he struck out 1. A double by Conor Lean that greeted Parra, doing a tremendous amount of damage. Lean thrown out going into 3rd. Again, the Barnstormers just can't get anything developing in their favor on the bases this year. And it did look like Conor had beaten the throw. He was upset that he was called out. It cost the Barnstormers a run if everything had played out as it did, because Jake Hoover's fly ball easily would have scored a runner from 3rd base had that been the 2nd out instead of the 3rd. Now here is Torrance, who opened up the 3rd inning with a ground ball base hit into right field. 1 for 1 for Devon this afternoon. The Barnstormers with the 3-run advantage here in the 5th inning. Sanchez will deliver to the inside corner for a called strike, and it is 0-1. He was a starter in the New York Penn League, speaking of Sanchez, back in 2013. A reliever throughout his career otherwise. Foul ball away, it's 0-2. He made 13 starts that year and only had 2 decisions because he averaged only about 4 1/3 innings per start, such as life in the minor leagues these days. Ball into the dirt. You can be extremely effective as a starting pitcher now in the minors, but not get many wins because you're out before 5 innings. Those rules still apply. And very often the starters find themselves out after 4 because they don't want these guys throwing more than 75 pitches in any one game. And they're the young prospects coming up. Devon Torrance bats at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here is the pitch, and Sanchez delivers low. We have ball 2 and 2 strikes. The Barnstormers want these guys to get back into major league organizations and on a track to the major leagues, as Connor Overton found himself on. It's all part of our raison d'être. Pardon my really bad French, but reason for our existence, reason for being of the Atlantic League is to get these guys and their careers turned back into that direction. But on an individual game basis, Ross Peoples' job is to win, not to develop prospects, and that's very often the job of the managers in the affiliated minor leagues. And it leads to some of those questions. The guy won the pennant. Why did he get fired? 2-2, swung on and missed. Torrance is gone on strikes. Sanchez starts off his afternoon on a positive note. Now Ladarius Clark steps in at 1 for 2. And it's because, well, he didn't do what we wanted him to do. He didn't bat the 21-year-old super stud that we invested $2.5 million in. Didn't bat him clean up and have him take the first pitch strike every time. Inside for a ball to Ladarius, and Rodriguez will pounce on it. Now they're going to tag Ladarius, and Doug McFarling says no, he did not make the effort to go to first base. This is a case, it's up to the umpire's discretion under this rule. Clark could have been tagged out there, and McFarling could have allowed it. But Ladarius Clark had both feet out of the box because he was getting out of the way of the pitch, and he staggered forward. And it's one of those gray areas that they've tried to clear up, try to instruct the umpires, and McFarling made the right call there under the rules. Breaking ball onto the outside corner at the knees. Sanchez has Clark at 1 and 2. But it can be a little bit confusing. I go back to what happened to Zach Shank back in 19 at Sugarland. That's fouled off Clark's foot, although the ball rolls into fair territory. Still a ball and 2 strikes on the Lancaster center fielder. Clark ran twice on those the other night and made it to first base easily both times, picking up the base hit. We're still trying to name that on the scorecard. I believe I've settled on single ER for experimental rule as a way to distinguish that from singles to left field or bloop hits to center or infield base hits or bunt singles. Outside to Clark, it's 2 and 2. And I've still never settled on what to call that guy at second base to start extra innings. Here's a 2-2, fouled away. And nobody else has either. Nobody has come up with the, as far as I know, people I've talked to have not come up with the definitive term for that runner at second base. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out here in the home fifth, 4-1 in the rain. And Clark will look at ball 3 upstairs. He held on the swing. Rodriguez went to ask Bill Reuter for help and then didn't even bother. It was pretty evident that Clark had held. Defense straight away. Here's the payoff from Sanchez. Clark draws a walk. Ball 4. The Barnstormers draw their 3rd walk of the contest. Melvin Mercedes will come to the plate. He has reached on a fielder's choice and he has walked. One could construe little things can really come back to haunt you over the course of a ball game. The Revs failed to convert a double play on Mercedes back in the first inning, and they had time to do it. But the throw back to first was a little bit too wide for Castro. That opened the way for Kelly Dugan to bat with a man still on in that inning. And he hit the 2-run homer. Big difference in this contest. Not all the difference because of the Conor Lean 2-run double last inning. First pitch strike to Mercedes. It's 0-1. Clark limbering up a little bit more. over at first base, held by Castro. To Melvin, it is low. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Colton Shaver, the catcher, in the on-deck circle. He did nothing but pop up von Schaman today. He wants a chance to do some harm to Sanchez here in the 5th inning. Nothing personal. Lancaster 4, York 1, bottom half of inning number 5. Throw to first, and ducking back in is Clark. If you're on the Barnstormers side here, you want to get your reps in early, but you'd at least be in better shape if the skies opened up right now. If you're York, it'd just be another early season problem that you've run into. Mercedes tears into that, lines a base hit out to right field. Rakuson will play it, but he will not keep Clark from third. Ladarius pulls in standing up, and the Barnstormers have runners at the corners with 1 out for Shaver.
Catcher Colton Shaver.
Shaver's hit 2 pop-ups straight away in this ball game. One got to shallow center field and was caught by the shortstop Figuera. The other one was near the pitcher's mound, and that was taken by the first baseman Castro. So they may look different on the scorecard, pop to 6 and pop to 3, but they were largely on the same angle toward the outfield. He'll look to improve upon that here. He's got a 6-game hitting streak and no time to extend that, better than the present with runners at first and third and 1 out. Lancaster already leading by the score of 4-1. According to the radar, we're in the worst of the rain right now, but it doesn't seem like that. Showers are falling here, and the folks who have stayed in the seats have umbrellas popped open. Breaking pitch for a strike on Shaver. It is 0-1. Kelly Dugan waits on deck. Sanchez certainly wants to see that double play ground ball come off of Shaver's bat. He is low. It's a ball and a strike. You don't want to let Dugan up there with another RBI chance in this series. He has taken advantage of far too many. One ball, 1 strike to Shaver. Clark off third, Mercedes off first. The set, and a Colton, the breaking ball at the top of the zone for a 2nd strike. It is 1-2. Throw back to the mound, eludes Sanchez. And this is where, in the past, you'd probably see Mercedes taking off for second base. However, nothing has gone right on the bases for this ball club. It goes back to the triple play a week ago Friday night. The Barnstormers took gambles on both ends with Torrance and Mercedes and lost everybody. 1-2 to Colton Shaver. He swings and misses, so it will be up to Dugan here in the 5th inning. 2nd strikeout for Isaac Sanchez, and now he encounters the man who has been more of a myth and a legend this weekend, Kelly Dugan. What a series he's had. He is 6 out of 11 with 3 homers and 10 runs batted in. 2 of the other hits have been doubles. Batting now with Clark at third, Mercedes at first, but 2 gone, so he'll need a base hit to extend the lead. Isaac Sanchez going to work on Dugan. 11 runs batted in this year. He now has 99 as a Barnstormer. The pitch to Kelly is a strike taken. It's 0-1. If he should happen to drive in a run here, and this will take some digging, but he could conceivably be the fastest Barnstormer ever in terms of games played to 100 runs batted in. Ground ball pulled foul. He trails 0-2, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do it now. Behind Sanchez in the count with Clark at third, Mercedes at first. Lancaster having a great opportunity, but Sanchez has battled back to strike out Shaver, and he's got the DH Dugan at no balls and 2 strikes. Runners take their leads, and to Kelly, it is ball 1 inside. Lenin Rodriguez wanted to get the call there. He sprung out and was about ready to roll the ball back to the pitcher's mound and head to the dugout and grab his bat because he's scheduled to lead off the 6th inning. But all the action was premature. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dugan. He's got a lot of room toward left center field. Sanchez to the set, the pitch. Kelly pops this up, but it will carry out of play. We remain at a ball and 2 strikes. The Barnstormers up by the 4-1 score, bottom half of the 5th inning. The rain seems to be moving out of the area. We see some folks starting to settle back down into the seats, but they're youngsters. The rain might not be bothering them. There goes the runner, ground ball pulled foul, and Melvin Mercedes puts on the reverse thrusters and the auto brakes and pulls up well short of second. 1-2. That's airplane terminology in case you're not aware. Dugan with a 2-run homer in the first, single up the middle in the 4th inning. Facing Isaac Sanchez, who still has the edge at 1-2. The set, and to Kelly. It is low. Ball 2, knocked down by Rodriguez, a very fine defensive catcher. 2-2 to Kelly Dugan. Dugan now with 11 runs batted in, and that barely cracks the top 5. We've got some guys off to amazing starts in the Atlantic League this year, and 3 of the guys ahead of him belong to either Lexington or Gastonia. Ballparks where runs pile up in a hurry. 2-2 to Dugan. Ground ball foul. He will not go away. Cordero waiting in the on-deck circle. And he decides to play golf with that one back to the bat boy. Shades of Scotty Scheffler. 2-2. Dugan battling Sanchez. Here is the set and the pitch. Kelly gets ball 3 high. Sanchez is in a battle with a red-hot hitter, and he knows it. And at this point, he would rather walk Kelly than give up another ball vanishing toward Clay Street. He does have the 1 base to work with. Cordero waits on deck. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Dugan. Mercedes gets turned loose. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's lined and fair into the right field corner. He's done it again. Clark will score. Mercedes on the way home. He is across, standing up, and Kelly Dugan's monster weekend continues. A double into the right field corner to drive in 2, and it is now 6-1. Can you believe the weekend that man has had against the York Revolution? And now we can start to contemplate, has anybody gotten to 100 runs batted in as a Barnstormer faster than Kelly Dugan? And it is a question worth asking. Dugan did not play the first 2 games of this year, so it's his 8th of this season. He has reached the 100 RBI mark in 112 Barnstormer games. The only man to clear 100 in a single season was Aaron Herr, and I could just about assure you that it took more than 112 games for Aaron to reach 100. Well, Kelly Dugan etching himself into Barnstormers lore. Here is Cordero. He has flied to right and walked. That was an amazing at-bat for Dugan. Battled back from 0-2 to 3-2 and then scorches a double into the right field corner. Cordero 0 for 1 on the day, awaiting the pitch from Sanchez. It is low, a ball, and 1-0. 6-1 Lancaster, bottom half of the 5th inning. Welcome to Kelly Dugan weekend. His 6th extra base hit of this 3-game series. 1-0. Cordero takes a strike and the count levels. Conor Lean, who's been no slouch, although he's had nowhere near as many at-bats as Dugan has in this series, but he has 4 extra base hits of his own, and he waits on deck here. 2 outs in the inning, both coming on strikes. 1-1 to Andretti. The Sanchez offering. Ground ball fair inside the bag at third. Down the line. Dugan will be waved around by Ross Peoples. Cordero is going to try for second. The throw coming from Mesa. The slide into second base. A scrum. And Cordero is ruled to be safe. RBI 2-base hit for Andretti Cordero, and it's 7-1. Sanchez has given up 3. And here is Lean, who has struck out and doubled deep into the left field corner to knock home 2. Seven to 1, bottom half of the 5th inning. And the Barnstormers show no sign of letting up. They're going to give out a player of the, we'll put quotation marks around month, for the Atlantic League. And nominations are due tomorrow. And there's a ball pulled deep to left field by Conor Lean. Way back it goes, and that will rattle off the fence. It's another extra base hit for Conor. Here comes Cordero. He'll score. Lean in at second with the Barnstormers' 3rd straight double, and it's now 8-1. Boy, what did the Barnstormers pick up from Southern Maryland and Conor Lean? His at-bats as a Barnstormer: double, strikeout, triple, strikeout, double. That's unreal. Now here is Lair, who has grounded out and struck out. 8-1 Lancaster, bottom of the 5th inning. An official ball game. Fastball outside to Trace. It's 1-0. Cordero is now knocked in 8. Lean has knocked in 3 today, 9 for the year. This middle of the order has taken shape. Strike taken by Lair. It is 1-1. It took getting back home from that nightmarish North Carolina trip for this club to get going. Here's a 1-1. Ball 2 is outside and low. 2 balls and a strike. And it was easy. And I succumbed to it, I'll admit, to become very, very discouraged. Those waning days in High Point, where the Barnstormers were taking it on the chin day in and day out, but they have come back home, and it's like the butterfly has emerged from the cocoon. 2-1 to Lair. Sanchez at the set looks back to Lean. And the pitch, ground ball right side. Diving stop made by Castro, the underhanded flip, and Sanchez will beat Lair to the bag, ending the inning. 3-1 on the conversion. Nicely done by Carlos Castro. He'll get a star in the scorebook. He puts an end to the inning, but before he does, the Barnstormers pick up 4 runs on 4 hits, 3 of them doubles, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We've completed 5 here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, and now it is pretty much all Barnstormers. Lancaster leading 8-1.
It's no longer about answering the most emails or pulling the most all-nighters. It's about prioritizing what's most important.
Hey, Lexus, give me directions to Eagles Peak Hiking Trail. Calculating route.
That's why the Lexus NX has an interface engineered to understand you and an available 14-inch touchscreen that's simpler and more intuitive. The Lexus NX. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg or Lancaster County.
Availability and accuracy of navigation system depends on many factors. Data charges may apply.
There is a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience full of family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 22nd through 25th for the induction of Bud Fowler, Gil Hodges, Jim Cott, Minnie Minoso, Tony Oliva, Buck O'Neill, and David Ortiz as the class of 2022. Visit baseballhall.org today for the
One gets the impression this is Kelly Dugan's world. We're just existing in it right now. That man has had an unbelievable weekend series against the York Revolution. 7 out of 12. 4 doubles, 3 homers. I checked that. 3 doubles, 3 homers. And 12 runs batted in a 3-game series. I was talking about the Player and Pitcher of the Month nominations, and we got an email from the league communications director, Steve Schutt, who works for the High Point Rockers, about getting our nominations in for the time frame start of the season through this weekend. And I sent it in yesterday. I said, look, I'm traveling home. I may forget, but let me put in Kelly Dugan and Chase Johnson as the Barnstormers nominees. And it was, in a sense, even coming off Dugan's 6 RBI game Friday night, it was kind of almost tongue-in-cheek. Like, there are guys who are off to these unbelievable starts. In the Atlantic League, we mentioned that the RBI leaders are Courtney Hawkins of Lexington, Jovan Rosa of Gastonia with 13. Dugan has now matched them. And one really has to believe that Dugan, coming out of this entire weekend, is a serious contender for the Player of the Month. Again, quotation marks around month. Now here is Cameron Gann facing Lenine Rodriguez, and Cam delivers a strike. It is 0-1. First Barnstormer to go from the start of the game into the 6th inning this year. And he's making his 3rd start. Everybody else has gone twice. Ball 1 is low. Rodriguez with a single back in the 3rd inning. Smash into left field through the hole. Now a fly ball out to left, hit fairly well. Sprinting back on this one. And turning around, Devon Torrance. He's there for the catch. 9 in a row set down by Gann. The strikeouts have gone away. He's letting the Revs get themselves out here. The last strikeout coming on a called 3rd strike against Josue Herrera back in the 3rd inning. The last 7 have put the ball in play. Here is Zach Rakuson, who has flied to right and gone down swinging. The Barnstormers were up 2-1 going into the bottom of the 4th. They got the 2-run double from Lean there and then broke it open with the 4 spot in the bottom of the 5th inning. Fastball for a strike on Rakuson. It is 0-1. The Barnstormers in 3rd coming into today, and if they hold on to this lead, they will remain in 3rd. But a ways to go to get to the top, starting the day 4.5 behind the streaking Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. And again, this series starting Tuesday night is really going to tell a lot about where this Barnstormers club is headed. Will they continue to climb, facing the top team in the division? Ground ball up the middle, off the glove of Hoover. He went a long way to get there, couldn't reel it in. And Rakuson is aboard with a 1-out single here in the 6th inning, just the 3rd York hit of the game. Hoover was cheating toward the hole. He was on the dead run going after that ground ball up the middle. And even if he had gloved the grounder, it's unlikely he was going to be able to get off a throw good enough to cut down a leadoff hitter. The 1-out and 1-on. Josue Herrera, the second baseman, checks in. Herrera, tough out last night, but today Gann has had little trouble with him. He has struck him out both times. We're in the top of the 6th. The Barnstormers leading 8-1. The field conditions getting a little bit gummy here, but at the same time, it looks like the rain has all but let up. Infield sets, double play depth. A 1-out base runner. Rakuson is on for York. Gann will come to the set and fire missing low to Herrera. It is ball 1 and no strikes. Playing with the lights on. A dreary afternoon in Lancaster. It's still spring. Mayday, Mayday, because that's what it is. 1 ball and nothing. Swung on and missed. Gann pulling the string, and the count levels at a ball and a strike. Melky Mesa, the left fielder, is on deck for the York Revolution. The Barnstormers haven't had anybody throw in the bullpen yet. They've had no cause for any concern about Cameron Gann, who delivers to the outside corner. It's 1-2. And it looks like the radar gun display has been knocked out at the moment. Nothing is registered in this 6th inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Herrera. Rakuson held over at first base by Cordero. Gan ready. Breaking ball swung at and just fouled down into the dirt. Gan close to his 7th strikeout. He has 18 Ks now in 15 innings. League leader coming into today was Leal from High Point with 15, but others could be making their 3rd starts as well. 1-2 pitch, high fly ball right field. Backtracking on this one is Conor Lean. He is there on the track to make the catch. Herrera just missing, straightening that out enough. And there are 2 outs in the inning with Mesa stepping in. Melky Mesa has struck out looking and grounded to 3rd. Barnstormers with the off day tomorrow, and then they hit the executive coach again Tuesday morning. A 6-day swing to Southern Maryland and then Long Island. I mentioned the Southern Maryland trip because it's in the nearer future, but we will know a lot more a week from now how this Barnstormers team stacks up against the Atlantic League this year. Pitch to Mesa is a strike at the top of the zone. Doug McFarling has been giving that pitch today. It's 0-1. If the Barnstormers win at Southern Maryland, win at Long Island, then you know that this team is a serious contender in the North. Breaking ball for a strike, it is 0-2. And that it's very possible that Lancaster just hit a buzzsaw in that opening road trip, taking on very, very good Gastonia and High Point clubs in their own ballparks to start the season. No balls, 2 strikes. Swung on and missed. Give Gan his 7th. Mesa goes down here in the 6th inning. No runs on a hit with no errors. And 1 man left on base. Bottom of the 6th will come up. The Barnstormers continue to lead 8-1.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Lancaster up 8-1. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Jake Hoover, Devon Torrance, and then Ladarius Clark coming on for Lancaster. The Barnstormers get to be back home and I think finally settling into some kind of a rhythm. On May the 10th, we'll be home for a 6-game homestand from the 10th through the 15th. And then from there, it's off to York, and we'll pay the first of 2 visits to Lexington, Kentucky, 3 weekends from now. But we will be there to face the Wild Health Genomes and not the Lexington Legends. Now, there does seem to be a bit of confusion. Sometimes I was told they were just to be called the Wild Health Genomes, but and their code is WHG in all of our materials and the websites. However, if you actually look at it and the standings and the MLB listings, when it's spelled out as Kentucky Wild Health Genomes. So we'll get that cleared up once we get there. Meanwhile, the Barnstormers will face the fourth York right-hander of the afternoon is Josue Herrera. Has come on for this bottom half of the sixth inning. More drying agent being worked into the mound and the area around home plate. At this stage, if the skies were to open up more, it's just a miserable shower at this point. I think if it gets much harder, the umpiring crew may be inclined to put a halt to play. And with the score 8-1 in the bottom half of the sixth inning, I don't think at this point York would complain. And the Barnstormers would just take the success of the day and head on to Southern Maryland with a 3-game sweep in tow. This has been a great weekend for the offense, not a bad weekend for the pitching staff at all. And you can look and say, well, York has scored 11 runs in the series, but 5 of them were in that messy ninth inning back on Friday night with the game 23-2 and 2 weary ball clubs having come off long overnight bus rides, battling it out at the end of a nearly 4-hour-long game. And not much was going right, really, on either side that last full inning. It was like nobody could make a play, nobody could throw a strike, and the game just wore on and on and on. But overall, you look at it, the Barnstormers gave up 2 runs in the first 8 innings and had the 21-run lead on Friday. Last night, Niall Ball and 5 relievers gave up just 3 runs, 2 earned. Fastball from Herrera is high and inside to Jake Hoover, who's 0 for 2 today. Hoover has bulked up a little bit during the offseason, and I think you're going to see a couple of home runs out of Jake this year. He's come up just short on a couple of occasions. Fastball is good for a strike. It is 1-1. 3 out of 12 now in this series. 3 for 22 on the campaign, but he's here for his glove anyway. And the Barnstormers seem to have enough bats otherwise with that Shaver, Dugan, Cordero, and today Lean combination. Other days it's Felice. 1-1 fouled off. Hoover trails Herrera at a ball and 2 strikes. 8-1 Barnstormers. The Lancaster squad with 9 hits today, and those include 4 doubles and a home run. And at this stage, if you're Ross Peoples, how do you keep Conor Lean out of the lineup? I don't know that you can. He has come off the bench the past couple of nights and performed well, and he gets the start today, and he's 2 out of 3 with 3 runs batted in, a couple of doubles. So I think Conor gets more playing time. Ross now has a lot of options for his lineup. 2-2, and Hoover gets underneath this one, lobbing it to Encarnacion. A few steps to his left, and Encarnacion loses the ball. Hoover will be safe at second on the error. That was about as routine as it gets. Encarnacion just loping over it toward his left, toward right center field. He was there, and oops, he dropped it. Did he touch it? And that is in question now, so we'll see how it's ruled. But that seemed as easy as pie, and it will be an E8. You just about have to there. That did he touch it or did he not? That was as easy of play as a center fielder could possibly have. He didn't have to think about any runners on base, getting off a throw. The wind isn't exactly swirling out here. No high sky. Now it's ball 1 and no strikes on Devon Torrance, who is 1 for 2. Ball inside, 2-0 to Torrance. And Herrera was like, man, I got an out and I didn't get an out at the same time. Clark dropped a ball out in center last night, but he had a little bit more to worry about. It was a bases loaded, nobody out situation. He was thinking about where he was going to throw. Ball 3 is high, 3-0. That play could have been disastrous for the Barnstormers in the 6th inning last night, but Tommy Shirley made sure that it was not. Boy, what a performance the lefty had out of the bullpen in the middle game of this series. He rescued his ball club. 3-0 to Torrance, who will take ball 4 up. And the Barnstormers just keep right on going. 4th walk they have drawn today. Sanchez worked an inning. He gave up 4 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He walked 1, struck out 2. It looked like the Barnstormers were not going to score at all in the bottom of the 5th. They had gotten the runners to 1st and 3rd with 1 out. Shaver struck out, and Dugan was trailing in the count 0-2. But Kelly is just locked and loaded. He got the count back to 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the next thing you knew, a double was screaming into the right field corner. Cordero and Lane followed with doubles to left. And the next thing you knew, the Barnstormers were up by 7. Here's Clark with 2 on, nobody out. Ladarius swings through a pitch from Herrera. No balls and a strike. And at this point, if you're York, you probably wish the skies would open up. No sign of a turnaround this afternoon. Ladarius gets a breaking ball away. 1-1. Melvin Mercedes is on deck. Mercedes has scored a couple of times here today. You have this middle of the order going great guns, and you know Mercedes is going to catch fire. Clark will contribute. Ross seems to have found his lineup. Having Ladarius Clark lead off is a little bit of a strange idea. Fly ball down the right field line. Searching the skies is Rakuson. He will make the catch, and the Barnstormers hold their runners. Clark flies out. Mercedes will step in. And I say that Clark has the speed to be a leadoff hitter, but he doesn't draw a lot of walks, though he has one today. And perhaps his approach will alter in the leadoff spot. Guys are able to do that. Clark is a guy you usually have batting 6th and have him swinging for the fences, but these guys can adjust roles. Caleb Gindel was able to do that. He hit leadoff quite a bit last year. Not your quintessential leadoff hitter, and I think in many ways Mercedes is, although he might be more tailor-made to bat where he is right now in the number 2 slot. Ball is inside. It is 1-0. Shaver waits on deck, and oh my word, if the Barnstormers get another guy on this inning, it would be Dugan again. And York might cry uncle. 1-0. Mercedes gets ball 2 wide of the plate. Lancaster's had its way this weekend, outscoring the Revs 36-11 in the 3 games of this series, coming off a 5-game stretch in which the Barnstormers were outscored 53-12. I guess that was the losing streak overall. No, that was the 5 games. It was 57-14 overall in the streak. Mercedes, ground ball, base hit out to left field. Hoover is going to make the turn. He's on his way home and will score standing up. There is a throw in behind Torrance at second. That throw gets away, and Torrance will get the third. Mercedes to second on a throwing error from Melky Mesa. Mesa saw room for a play on Torrance, and in reality it was there, but he made a wild throw. And the Barnstormers leading 9-1. They have runners at second and third with 1 out. Well, guess what the York Revolution will not be doing here? I don't think they're going to walk Colton Shaver to fill in first base and get Dugan up there with the bases loaded. They've had enough of the Kelly Dugan show this weekend. Shaver's 0 for 3 in this one. Torrance at third, Mercedes at second, just 1 out in the inning. And the infielders are playing back at this stage. The York Revolution simply looking to pick up some outs. Herrera ready to go. Shaver swings. He hits a ground ball to the shortstop. This should be routine for Figuera, and it is. Shaver drives in a run to make it 10-1. Torrance coming across the plate with what is now an unearned run. And you see the negative effect of that throw from Mesa. He got a little aggressive there, and I can't fault him for that. It appeared there was some daylight, but he made the bad throw. Had he not made that throw, that's a double play ground ball. Instead, Torrance has scored run number 10. Mercedes goes to third, and here's Kelly again. 3 for 3. 2 runs scored, 4 runs batted in this afternoon. The Barnstormers are up huge. Herrera will give it a whirl. It is high, and for a second, juggled by Lenin Rodriguez, but he keeps it under his control, basically. 1 ball and no strikes to Kelly Dugan. Now batting .355 on the year. 5 doubles, 3 homers, and 13 driven in. And it's just about all been this weekend. York is sick of Dugan. 12 ribbies in 2.5 games. And now he's got Mercedes at third. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Breaks across the top of the zone, 1-1. And you almost have to figure Kelly simply didn't like that one. The Barnstormers have action in the bullpen. It appears Gann is done after what would be a quality start. Donald Goodson throwing in the right field corner. At least I believe that's Donald. To Dugan. Swing and a miss, and that is the first awkward swing I think he has taken in this entire series. He just got badly fooled there by Josue Herrera. Two runs across here. Mercedes parked at third. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dugan. Herrera is ready to go, and Kelly gets underneath. They finally got him today. The left fielder, Mesa, will come on for the catch. Dugan has done plenty, though, this afternoon. The 6th inning comes to an end with 2 runs on 1 hit and a couple of very costly York Revolution errors. There was 1 man left on base, and now at the end of 6, the Barnstormers leading 10-1.
Lancaster County Motors Subaru once again presents the Subaru Outdoor Experience. Located along the first base line, this space welcomes fans to a different experience while attending games. The Subaru Outdoor Experience focuses on creating social engagement among the fans. Fans will identify with the Subaru Outdoor Experience, which includes games like life-size Jenga, shuffleboard, ping pong, giant checkers, and bocce ball, along with an art wall of kayak, bike, and recycling arts parts and information, a dog-kissing booth, a barbershop corner, and opportunities to engage with the local business that made this unique space possible. Come enjoy the games while watching the game.
Rock with the 5-time Tony Award-nominated musical Rock of Ages at Dutch Apple Dinner Theater, April 22nd through May 14th. When a development company plans to turn the Sunset Strip into another strip mall, it's up to a group of wannabe rockers to save the day and the music. With music from Styx, Bon Jovi, Poison, and more, Rock of Ages features all your favorite 80s rock anthems and power ballads. How can you resist? Call 717-898-1900 or visit DutchApple.com to reserve your tickets today.
In the Barnstormers' huge offensive attack today, you can lose track of the fact that Cameron Gann pitched incredibly well in his 3rd start of the year. He went 6, posting the club's first quality start. He gave up 3 hits and a run, didn't walk anybody, struck out 7. A great outing for the Texan, and he is in line for his first win of the year. The Barnstormers starters in general this weekend have been outstanding. Total of 15 innings thrown by Teller, Ball, and Gann, giving up only 3 earned runs. And the only run off Gann today was on the home run to right center field by Encarnacion, starting off the 3rd inning. The Barnstormers go to the hard-throwing right-hander from Michigan, Donald Goodson. Did not get off to a very good start this year. His velocity a little bit down, and he gave up home runs to the first 2 batters he faced this year, and he's given up 3 home runs in 3 innings of work, 5 hits. He has walked 1 and struck out 3. Nelly Rodriguez will face him here in the top of the 7th. 10 runs, 10 hits, no errors, and the Barnstormers have stranded just 3. 1 run on 3 hits, 2 errors now, and York is stranded 2. Donald Goodson's first pitch is in for a called strike. It is 0-1. The young fellow who made my eyes bug out of my head the first time I watched him throw in spring training last year. Oh, 1 pitch is low, a ball and a strike, and he's had some hiccups. But very often you'll sign guys with the background of somebody like Goodson, somebody who says something positive, you want to give him a look. And that's basically where Ross was last year, although he had seen video, and he says, this guy has great velocity and a Bugs Bunny changeup, so let's see what he can come here and do. First outing in spring training last year, his first pitch, I went, what was that? 1-2 is a fastball low. Nelly Rodriguez batting at 2 balls and 2 strikes, leading off here in the 7th inning. And you see the fastball and the changeup combination. If he has both of them working, he is devastating. But they come and they go. He is high to Rodriguez, and the count is 3-2. Carlos Franco waiting on deck. He's had some hiccups early this year, and he did have a few last year. Payoff pitch is strike 3 called. Down goes Rodriguez. He's out on strikes for the 2nd time in the game. Carlos Franco will come to the plate. He is 0 for 2. And we are certainly hoping that Donald Goodson Sr. will make another stop by Clipper Magazine Stadium this year. He came in late in last season, and I hadn't met him until I think most of the rest of the front office staff did, and they were like, you're not going to believe what a great guy this is. Swing and a miss, it's 0-1. So Don Sr., if you're listening, you're invited back here to Lancaster. No balls, 1 strike. Understand some other parents are coming in the near future. 0-1 upstairs. Ball 1, strike 1. Scott Schumann's mom and dad made the trip up to Gastonia when we were there. Surprised Scott. He did not know they were coming. Popped up foul and out of play, 1-2. Kelly Dugan's dad will be here, I understand, on our next homestand. And Ross Peoples' parents here today. Always good to see Coach and Connie. 1-2, swung on and missed. Goodson's fan too. And this is good to see. It's just another element in that Barnstormers bullpen, which is blossoming into something potentially very special this year. We saw him do a tremendous job last night. Carlos Castro now the hitter, 0 for 2. (10-1) Barnstormers here in the 7th inning. And again, the next week is really going to give you a better sense of how this season is going to go, I think, than that North Carolina trip, or maybe even this weekend. Strike to the outside corner, and to Castro, it is 0-1. Goodson looking awfully special out there today. admittedly facing somewhat of a beleaguered York ball club. That ball is hammered, though, deep to left field by Castro. Pulling up on it is Torrance. He's got to take that off the fence. The runner digging for second. The throw is offline. Racing back is Mercedes, but he has to step delicately on the wet grass, or not wet grass, but wet dirt. Castro in at second with a long double, and that's what we've seen out of Goodson this year. He's getting the strikeouts still, but he's making these off pitches, and they're getting clobbered. 2 outs, Castro at second. Here is Encarnacion, who has homered and grounded out. 1 out of 2. But you expect that to settle down. We saw last year what Donald Goodson Jr. is capable of doing. You add him to Sullentrop and Johnson and Graham and Schumann and Zepchinsky out in that bullpen. Ben Wanger is unfortunately gone. It was a numbers thing for the Barnstormers, and Ross, once he got Conor Lean in here and was able to activate Oscar De La Cruz, he ran out of roster room. I forgot to mention De La Cruz looked awfully good the other night too. Another arm in that bullpen. So Ben Wanger ended up, unfortunately, being the odd man out. A called strike. It is 1-1. We wish Ben well. He's a wonderful young man, and he's got so much going for him that I am not terribly concerned about him. Even if baseball doesn't work out for Ben down the road, he's going places in this world. Up the third base line, a foul ball, and it's 1-2. But always sad when you end up parting company with someone and see their dreams rerouted. Maybe not completely dashed, but rerouted. And we certainly wish Ben the best. 1-2. Goodson to the plate, and Encarnacion spoils the pitch. We will continue with a 1-ball, 2-strike count here. The Barnstormers lead by 9. Castro, the runner, at second base with 2 outs. That is the hardest thing that a manager has to do, is release a player, and it crushes Ross's soul when he has to do it. Swing, and that is a miss. So Goodson ends up striking out the side around the double by Castro. 10 strikeouts total for Barnstormers pitching today. No runs on a hit with no errors. Castro left at second base. We've reached the 7th inning stretch today. The Barnstormers winning 10-1.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that will bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your family visit today at baseballhall.org. See you in Cooperstown, where the journey becomes legend.
They say to truly understand someone, you must walk a mile in their shoes. Well, at Lexus, we designed the ES with you in mind every step of the way. From class-leading legroom in the back to positioning the touchscreen 4 inches closer to you in the front. Everything in the Lexus ES, a direct reflection of you. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg or Lancaster County.
2022 ES versus 2021-2022 competitors. Information from manufacturers' websites as of 5/3/2021.
For the youth of our area, the Barnstormers are offering a wide variety of camps throughout the summer to teach everyone some tips on baseball and softball. Camps are offered to kids as young as 4 and as old as 12. Some even involve the parents. They run from June 11th all the way through September 17. For more information, go to LancasterBarnstormers.com and click on the Youth Baseball tab. All presented by Orthopedic Associates of Lancaster and Play It Again Sports.
The Barnstormers, for the first time since Austin Nicely made the start on Friday night, will face a lefty. And this is our first look at Adrian Almeida. Almeida from Puerto Caballo, Venezuela, lives in Orlando, Florida, pitched with the infamous Rocket City Trash Pandas last year. And if you're not particularly up on minor league baseball, well, the Rocket City Trash Pandas are the latest sensation in terms of marketing. What is Rocket City? Well, Rocket City is the Huntsville, Alabama area around the Davidson Space Flight Center. It is a great community, a tremendous city. I've had a chance to spend some time down there because my younger son went to school there. Here is Andretti Cordero leading off against Almeida. The first pitch from the left-hander is inside, ball 1 and no strikes. So the ballpark is actually not in Huntsville. It's in the town of Madison next door, right along the interstate near the Huntsville airport. The offering a strike at the knees on Cordero. We get the 1-1. So that explains Rocket City. What is a trash panda? It's a raccoon. They raid trash cans. It's the nickname in the South for raccoons, trash pandas. And they market it as pandemonium. And they, in their first year, were tremendously successful. They're now in year 2. Old friend of mine, Josh Carey, who at one point was the broadcaster for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs here in the Atlantic League, is the voice of the Trash Pandas. He is, yes, part of the great Carey lineage in baseball broadcasting. He is Harry's grandson and Skip's son. And he's enjoying himself no end down in Huntsville. 2 balls, 2 strikes from Almeida to Andretti Cordero. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, the motion, the pitch, ground ball on the right side, and the Barnstormers just keep on going. Second hit for Cordero, Mr. Sunday. The leadoff man is on. Here is Conor Lean once again. The man who has 4 doubles is in 7 at-bats as a Barnstormer. 4 doubles and a triple. Adrian Almeida had pitched initially in the Mets organization and then went to the Angels, which is the Rocket City parent team. The Huntsville Stars, which had been in the Southern League for about 3 decades, moved to Biloxi, Mississippi. The ballpark that they had, Joe Davis Stadium, was just decrepit. I have seen it while I've been down there, and it's, to put it mildly, unsightly, and I can understand why people were no longer attending and why the team moved out. They had a great opportunity to go to Biloxi. And then Huntsville in that area, Madison County, building the new stadium and attracting the Mobile Bay Bears. Outside here to Conor Lean. It's ball 1 and no strikes from Almeida. 24 appearances for Rocket City last year. He was 3-0 with a 4.7 earned run average. 6-footer and just checking in at 160 pounds. On to the outside corner on Lean. It's a ball and a strike. Lancaster now with 11 hits, leading today by the score of 10-1. Almeida in his 4th appearance of the year. He's not given up an earned run. 3 hits, 1 unearned. He has walked 1, struck out 2. Dealing with Cordero at first, and the ball swatted foul off to the right and up to the sweets by Lean. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. I understand that the Trash Pandas really are a sensation. They're a hot ticket down in northern Alabama. Huntsville isn't far from the Tennessee border. 1-2 swung on and missed. Almeida is able to fan Lean First out recorded here in the 7th inning. Now Trace Lair will step in. Lair, a guy that the Barnstormers are looking for to get on track. He has 1 double, 1 run batted in, just 6 out of 31 on the season. He was robbed in the 5th inning on a sprawling stop by Castro, but Lair has a very good glove, and you can do a lot with him. You can move him around the infield. He can even play the outfield if need be. Ball is outside. It is 1-0, and that's one of the things that Ross really wanted to build into this club in 2022 was versatility, and boy, does he have it. He's got a lot of chess pieces. He can move all over the place. Once guys begin to get picked up by major league organizations. Grounded to short. Behind it is Figuera. They'll get the out at second, but not at first. In fact, the relay throw from Herrera bounces on through to the dugout. Lair will not advance. No error charge, just a fielder's choice 6-4. And Jake Hoover gets another opportunity. He's 0 for 3 with a run scored. His fly ball to center last inning was botched by J.C. Encarnacion, and I don't think there's any kinder way to phrase it. It looked like the most routine play ever. Not really a lot of wind, not a high sky, no runners on base to where you had to think about the throw. Encarnacion just jogging a few feet to his left. And unless there was wind that we didn't experience up here, didn't see the flag moving, that play just did not look good. Fastball is high to Hoover. Ball 1 and no strikes. We're going to chalk that up to the fact that Encarnacion just traveled in here and he's just getting his feet wet into the season. He's a far better player than that. 1 ball, no strikes. Lair, the runner at first base with 2 outs. Almeida checks the runner, deals to the plate, and it's a chip shot by Hoover. It'll be caught on the fly by Herrera coming in. Hoover had the big night Friday night. Hasn't done much otherwise, but we always love him in the field. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We're through 7 here in Lancaster. The Barnstormers up 10-1.
This season offers a whole line of new items from Otto's Hospitality. Dig into the world-famous Nathan's Hot Dogs. Take a trip to Otto's Cantina for a walking taco or your favorite adult beverage. Enjoy a helmet of Otto's meatballs or a sausage with peppers from the Broken Bat Deck. For the sweet tooth, there are jumbo chocolate chip cookies, Skyline cotton candy, and ice cream novelties. Or simply snack on Emma's popcorn in a variety of exciting flavors. What a great way to savor your time at the ballpark, courtesy of Otto's.
There is a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience full of family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 22nd through 25th for the induction of Bud Fowler, Gil Hodges, Jim Cott, Minnie Minoso, Tony Oliva, Buck O'Neill, and David Ortiz as the class of 2022. Visit baseballhall.org today for the
It has never rained hard enough here today, despite the fact that it's clammy out and the field is less than ideal right now. Never rained hard enough to call for the tarp or halt play. And we've made it to the 8th inning with the Barnstormers leading 10-1. In fact, a lot of the folks have filtered down to their seats and the umbrellas have been put away. Donald Goodson, in his 2nd inning, he'll be facing Edwin Figuera, Lenin Rodriguez, and Zach Rakuson. 8-9-1 in Mark Mason's lineup here today. When the Barnstormers see the Revolution again in a couple of weeks, I'm not sure that I'll recognize Mark Mason. When we meet up with them again, and I can't recall, I think they're back here in a couple of weeks. I know we go there on the 17th of May for a weekday series. But I'll have to ask him for his credentials. He's going to have all that hair lopped off. Goodson's first offering to Figuera is high. Edwin Figuera today is hitless in 2 tries. Goodson 3 strikeouts last inning. Gave up a double to Castro, a long drive to left. Donald out of the zone for ball 2. It's 2-0. It would have been interesting to see if this had been a closer ball game, and hopefully it won't get there, if the Barnstormers would have gone back to Schumann to close today after he needed to get 4 outs last night, or who would be the backup closer on this team. Chopper foul, and we have a 2-ball and 2-strike count on Figuera. Barnstormers pitching very solid throughout this series, again with that 9th inning the other night, the exception. Two balls and 2 strikes the count. Goodson's pitch, bounded on the right side. Donald is going to take it all the way himself as Cordero had gone for the ball. 1 unassisted, and Lenin Rodriguez coming in. Lenin Rodriguez is 1 out of 2. So if Schumann doesn't close out a game to get the save, who's the backup? And I haven't asked Ross that question. It probably would depend on the situation. I almost think the next guy that you would go to would be Chase Johnson because he's so experienced as a right-hander and a harder thrower. Zepchinsky might get called on occasionally if Schumann's not available that game. Outside a ball to Lenin Rodriguez. It is 1-0. I've always been impressed with this guy's skills behind the plate. Goodson is inside, ball 2. I mean, they've got the bigger boppers in Mondesi and Castro, who have caught the other 2 games of this series. Not to say Rodriguez can't do anything at the plate. He can be a bit of a thorn. Goodson gets a breaking ball in there, 2-1, with Rakuson waiting on deck. As if you were to ask me, besides Schumann, who would be the best closer on this roster, just forget everything else, don't look at the way things have been established, my answer to that question would be Cameron Gann. But he's the number 1 guy in the rotation now, so he's out of the picture. 3-1 to Rodriguez. Goodson to the plate, and strike 2. You could build Donald Goodson into that role, but I think he's a bit away from his development. De La Cruz has the experience. Johnson has the experience. Sullentrop is another guy, cuts down on the walks. He's got the stuff. Ground ball, left side. That'll get through to Hoover. He's got a throw. Sidearm and makes it there. You know, that entire road trip, and if you were listening, you heard this as a repeated theme. Who's got the arm from the shortstop hole? It seemed like player after player was beating those out. And now we've definitely seen Hoover can gun the guys down from there. 2 outs, nobody on base. I just love him at shortstop. Here is Rakuson, 1 out of 3. Donald Goodson is set down 5 out of 6. York today with 4 hits in the ball game. The home run by Encarnacion, a double by Castro, singles by Rakuson and Lenin Rodriguez. And now to Rakuson. It is high and inside from Donald. Ball 1, no strikes. Lancaster 10, York 1, top of the 8th inning. Augie. Breaking ball is good for a strike. It is 1-1. Went to say it'll be Dominic DeSabatino, rather, on Tuesday, matching up against Daryl Thompson. Augie Silk, who has a history of pitching very well against Southern Maryland, will go on Wednesday night against a left-hander by the name of Denson Hull, who has spun scoreless baseball, or at least earned runless baseball so far. And Brent Teller comes back around on Thursday against a lefty named Mitch Lamson. 1-2. Fastball is outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That said, the Barnstormers have not hit left-handed pitching well this year. And that's puzzling because the Barnstormers don't have the overwhelmingly one-sided lineup to the left that they've had in years past. Grounded to third. This will be Lair digging it up and throwing on the run. The defense looking as good as all the other elements here this weekend. Nothing across. We'll go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. All Barnstormers again today with a score of 10-1.
Being over 55 does not mean a ticket, it means 10 with the Silver Stormers Club presented by the Lancaster Barnstormers and Audiology Associates of Lancaster. Anyone 55 and over can enjoy baseball action at every Tuesday home game for only $50 on the season. That is nearly a 70% savings. Members also receive a special Silver Stormers t-shirt to wear proudly at the stadium. For more information or to sign up, go to LancasterBarnstormers.com and look in the season tickets section.
Rock with the 5-time Tony Award-nominated musical Rock of Ages at Dutch Apple Dinner Theater, April 22nd through May 14th. When a development company plans to turn the Sunset Strip into another strip mall, it's up to a group of wannabe rockers to save the day and the music. With music from Styx, Bon Jovi, Poison, and more, Rock of Ages features all your favorite 80s rock anthems and power ballads. How can you resist? Call 717-898-1900 or visit DutchApple.com to reserve your tickets today.
Adrian Almeida remains on the hill. Devon Torrance will step in. Talking about Almeida being in inaugural season Rocket City Trash Panda in 2021. And before that, they had the Huntsville Stars. The Stars came in 1985, and at the time they were affiliated with the Oakland A's as their AA affiliate. Torrance batting right-handed, swings and foul tips it. It's no balls and a strike. And on that first team in Huntsville, they had a fellow by the name of Jose Canseco who put up video game numbers. And that's where Jose's legend really began, was in Huntsville, breaking ball high and outside, 1-1. The manager I had worked with the previous 3 seasons, Brad Fisher, who's a baseball lifer, but was only 28 years old when he was managing in Alabama that inaugural season. It had Canseco in A-ball and then again in AA. They had a great team that first year. A lot of those Oakland prospects coming through. 2-1, swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Torrance. I got to see firsthand the A's building. That team that got to the World Series was 3 straight years, Dodgers, Giants, and Cincinnati, and they won the earthquake year against San Francisco. High and inside, ball 3, and Torrance leaning back out of the way, couldn't get up ahead of steam, and I think if he had gone to first base in a 10-1 game in the bottom half of the 8th inning, well, let's put it this way. The York Revolution might have just gotten slightly chafed under the collar. Just maybe. So it's 3-2 to Torrance. Clark and Mercedes scheduled to follow here in the Lancaster 8th inning with a 10-1 lead. The Almeida pitch fouled away. And Devon, who's been a base runner twice today, gets to see another. Lancaster has activity in the bullpen, so Goodson will be coming out. It looks like the big guy down there, Oscar De La Cruz. Ball 4, high and outside. Torrance walks for the second time. The Barnstormers have picked up their 5th walk of the ball game, and they've had leadoff men on base seemingly this entire game. In reality, it's the 6th inning out of 8. Ladarius Clark, the hitter. And the Barnstormers have only left 4 men on, leading 10-1. They've had some pretty significant days at the plate. Dugan at the top of the list. Ball taken low by Ladarius. It is 1-0. So he seems to have taken to this leadoff role a bit. Ball 2 is high and inside. 2-0, the count to Clark. And I'm still hoping that we can get together on this next homestand. This beginning to the season has been absolutely chaotic with just this 3-game weekend series and the Barnstormers strewn all over the Atlantic League. Otherwise, there is a called strike to Clark, and we get to 2-1 now. But once we get a long homestand established here in another 9 days, I'm hoping to catch up with some individual player interviews. Clark down the right field line with a long fly ball that is fading, and that is a fair ball. It stayed inside the pole. And home run number 2 for Ladarius Clark as the Barnstormers now lead 12-1. Ladarius somehow kept that one straight enough. He thought it was going to go foul. He watched and he waited. The Barnstormers with their 2nd home run of this contest, and that just kind of adds insult to injury as far as York is concerned. Melvin Mercedes to the plate. He has 2 singles and a walk. In from the right side against Almeida. Strike to the inside corner. It's 0-1. I can't see the ball when it gets out there, even though it was above the stands level. You do tend to lose it. Outside, and a Mercedes, it's 1-1. And I was just waiting for Bill Reuter to signal foul ball. And that ball just stayed in and ended up around the pole. Ball 2 is high to Melvin. Still nobody out in the bottom of the 8th. The Barnstormers have played 10 games this year. This is the 6th rout in which the team has found itself 2 up and 4 down. And now Mercedes tries the same path, but he gets underneath and skies out to the right fielder, Rakuson. 1 man down. The batter will be Colton Shaver, getting one last chance, it would appear, to extend his hitting streak to 7 games. The 6-game streak is the longest put together by a Barnstormer yet this year. And, of course, a long ways away from the franchise record shared by 2 ex-big leaguers, Matt LeCroy and Caleb Gindel. To Shaver, that's smashed out to right. Diving try by Rakuson comes up short. And Shaver has been on 7 games in a row with a base hit now. And a lot of it singles to right field. So it looks like he's adjusted his approach a little bit, as has Clark. Different spots in the batting order. And now here's Kelly Dugan facing the lefty Almeida. Dugan, he's just 3 for 4 with a homer, a double, 4 runs batted in this game. Lancaster 12, York 1 on this Sunday afternoon. Shaver, the runner at first, still just 1 out. Almeida will go to work on Dugan, and Kelly gets flattened. The ball also gets away from Rodriguez. Cruising to second is Shaver on a wild pitch. The catcher, Rodriguez, got a glove on it, but practically in back of Dugan. So Almeida trying to make the statement that Kelly's getting a little too comfortable in the batter's box, and that's sometimes what teams will do to try and unnerve a red-hot hitter. Fifth multi-run inning for the Barnstormers in the game, coming here in the bottom of the eighth on the two-run homer by Clark. Now to Dugan, a swing and a miss. It is 1 ball and 1 strike as Almeida's ploy worked. Dugan batting on deck is Andretti Cordero. That single back in the 7th inning, his first hit against the left-handed pitcher. 1-1 to Dugan. Kelly swings and misses at the high fastball. And perhaps Almeida found a ticket to success with that one brushback pitch. But it's also late on a Sunday afternoon, and well, Dugan can be satisfied with this weekend one way or another. Shaver leading from second. Almeida to Dugan, a ball and 2 strikes, and that is popped up. Over to the left, it'll be the shortstop Figuera in position to make the play. He squeezes for the second out, and now it's Cordero. Andretti Cordero with a couple of hits today, including a double. He scored a run. He's driven one in, 2 for 3 overall. And Mark Mason is coming out. He's going to switch to a right-hander after all of this. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Almeida has thrown 1 2/3, and now we'll see York pitcher number 6 of the afternoon, a right-hander to counter Andretti Cordero. And while the reliever makes his way in, we'll send you back to our mythical studios.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Two outs, runner at second base, and the new pitcher into the ball game for the York Revolution, right-hander Alberto Rodriguez. We have seen him before in this series. Born on Christmas Eve of 1991 was Alberto Rodriguez. He's been around this league for a while. Sugarland, the Road Warriors, in his second season with the York Revolution. My disappointment here is that we don't have 1 out and a runner at first. Instead, 2 outs and a man at second. Because, and I don't know if this has happened at any point the last 2 years, but you would have the stage set up for the all-Rodriguez double play. You've got Alberto Rodriguez on the mound, Lenin Rodriguez. Oh, that's right. Castro's playing first. I keep forgetting that. It's not Nelly Rodriguez out there today, as it generally is. At some point, I've got to ask Daryl Henry if it's happened. The Rodriguez to Rodriguez to Rodriguez 1-2-3 double play. 2 outs. Shaver the runner at second. And to Cordero, huge breaking ball for a called strike. It is 0-1. Andretti 2 for 3 today. He is Mr. Sunday. Rodriguez, through the bottom of the 8th last night, gave up a run on a bloop triple and a sacrifice fly. A big insurance run for the Barnstormers there. To Cordero, foul off another big hook, and it's 0-2. Cordero, the past 2 Sundays, is 5 for 7 with 5 runs batted in, 2 home runs, a double inside the bag at third today, and a single off the top of the fence in Gastonia last Sunday. Our next day game, Thursday, at Southern Maryland. We've got an 11 o'clock start there to wrap up that series. It'll get us on the road to Long Island a bit earlier. 0-2 to the outside corner and strike three called. 3 straight outstanding breaking pitches from Alberto Rodriguez. Cordero didn't think that was strike 3, and he's not giving up his post in the batter's box all that quickly. For the Barnstormers, 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Bottom half of the 8th inning, Oscar De La Cruz coming in to try and pack this one away and complete the 3-game sweep of the York Revolution. The Barnstormers in control by the score of 12-1.
Are you sick and tired of washers that don't use enough water or take 2 hours to clean and don't last more than a few years? Well, come into Gockenauer's in East Petersburg now and let us show you the Speed Queen commercial grade laundry. Built the old-fashioned way with warranties up to 7 full years. Gockenauer's will deliver and install your new Speed Queen, and we know you'll be fully satisfied with your purchase. Gockenauer's in East Petersburg, your hometown dealer for 73 years.
At Clipper Magazine Stadium, we have hot dogs and popcorn, peanuts, soda, and nachos. But what if, say, you are only 3 months old and mom wants to have a night out and watch the Barnstormers? Well, thanks to May Grant Obstetrics and Gynecology, the littlest of Stormer fans now have a place to go for dinner during the game. Tots can take mom to the Little Sluggers dugout behind Section 13 at the stadium for a comfortable private feeding experience. A brightly painted room with comfortable furniture and TVs tuned to the game, it is the perfect spot for baby and mom during a night at the ballpark.
Knockoffs, copycats, imitators. They all share one thing in common. They always pale in comparison next to the true original. Just like the stylish and versatile Lexus RX. The crossover that paved the way for others. And it's still the best for one simple reason. Nothing else is as good as the original. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg or Lancaster County.
Oscar De La Cruz will try to finish things off here today. The Barnstormers with the 11-run lead as we go to the top of the 9th inning. Cameron Gann, Donald Goodson have been marvelous so far today, and De La Cruz will try to join on in and post a similar outing. He's facing Josue Herrera, Melky Mesa, and Nelly Rodriguez in this 9th inning. De La Cruz, 6'6", 250 pounds, and believe me, he's every bit of that. He hails from La Romana in the Dominican Republic. De La Cruz, 27 years of age. Mostly at AA Binghamton last year with a couple of stays at AAA Syracuse in the New York Mets organization. Josue Herrera on to lead things off in the 9th inning. De La Cruz will bring it home, and it's fouled off to the third base side, 0-1. The Barnstormers have done quite a bit here today. Every aspect of the game, except for maybe base running, has really worked extremely well for the Barnstormers this afternoon. But knowing Ross Peoples as I do, the thing that might make him the happiest about today is, to this point, his pitching staff has stayed away from the base on balls. Not one in today's game. Gann went 6, Goodson 2, Donald allowing a hit and striking out 3. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Herrera. The motion, De La Cruz to the plate, and that is nailed around the end of the building and past the kids' park. Ball 1 and 2 strikes on Josue Herrera, playing second base in this Sunday matinee. Signal given by Shaver. This is popped up foul, coming straight back. Anthony Peroni caught last night, and he made a whale of a catch. And this, I think, was very important as well. We talked about the later plays by Cordero and Hoover, but Peroni made a great catch and a foul pop-up with the bases loaded last night. 1-2. Herrera swings and drives that to center. He's got a leadoff base hit. His 3rd hit of the series, 5th hit today for York. Melky Mesa will step in at 0 for 3. Mesa has struck out twice, and he's grounded a third. You just know that Mesa and Rodriguez and Franco and Castro in the heart of this order will start to produce. They're all coming off fabulous seasons for the Revs a year ago, 300-plus average and about 20 home runs for all four. It is up to Mesa. Ball 1 and no strikes. 92-mile-per-hour fastball, according to the board, out in left center. Infield set, double play depth. Lancaster has had very few chances to turn 2 today. 1 ball and nothing, and that will hit Mesa. Second runner is on in the York ninth. Now, the Barnstormers couldn't finish off that game Friday night. It took a half an hour or more to get through the top of the ninth inning as 5 York runs scored in what was a completely lopsided ball game in Lancaster's favor, and this almost seems to be headed in that same direction. First and second now, nobody out. Nelly Rodriguez, the DH, steps in. He is 0 for 3. Herrera at second, Mesa now aboard at first. De La Cruz had gotten ahead of Herrera, who then lined the single into center. Now Mesa hit by a pitch. De La Cruz working to Rodriguez, and he twists it to the outside corner for a called strike. It is 0-1. Carlos Franco, the third baseman, waiting on deck. York heads home for the first time this season. They take on Gastonia and then High Point at Peoples Bank Park over the next week. Here's a pitch. Check swing. Bouncer back toward the mound. The only play is to first, and De La Cruz wise enough not to try and do anything else. 1-3. Herrera to third, Mesa to second with 1 man gone. Carlos Franco will be stepping in. Take the out that's given to you there when you're up by 11. But even in a 1 or 2 run game, there was simply no play anywhere else. Franco will step in. He's 0 for 3. Left-handed batting Carlos Franco lives now in Salem, Massachusetts. Originally from Bagni in the Dominican Republic. He's a big fella. 6'3", 220-pounder, 30 years of age is Franco. Lined and fair inside the bag at third down the line. This will score 2. Herrera will come across, Mesa as well, and on to second goes Franco with a stand-up double to make it 12-3. And the Barnstormers need 2 more outs. Carlos Castro will come in at 1 for 3. De La Cruz struck out 2 of 4 batters that he faced here in the 6th inning on Friday night. 1 runner reached on an error. He was perfect as far as his record was concerned. Today has been a different story, but again, it's been a long week for De La Cruz. He has to get acclimated to the weather. First of all, he had just come in from the Dominican Republic on Wednesday. It does not get this chilly in the Dominican Republic in the dead of winter. Inside for a ball 1-0. It's tropical climate throughout. There may be a little bit of variation in the Caribbean islands, but not that much. Line drive, this to the right side, and a base hit. It gets past Conor Lean out there, who's having some trouble getting used to the right field wall. And it's second with another double is Castro as Franco scores, and it's now 12-4. With J.C. Encarnacion coming to the plate, and Mark Johnson will visit the mound for the first time this entire game as De La Cruz struggles here in the 9th inning. And you have that long flight coming up from the Dominican Republic. I don't believe there is an airline anywhere on the globe that flies nonstop from Santo Domingo to Greensboro, North Carolina, so I'm sure it was a long travel day. He got in at a little after 6 o'clock on Wednesday, then had to be transported to the ballpark, back to the hotel for one night to check in, had the long bus ride back here overnight on Thursday, and all of that, even for a 27-year-old young buck, can really take a toll on the body and the mind. Well, he's having a tough one here in the ninth inning. 12-4 ball game. They forgot to get rid of Castro's bat, and Encarnacion will step in. The Barnstormers still need 2 more outs in what is now a 12-4 game. 3 hits for the Revs here in the top half of the ninth inning, and this is shades of Friday night, although that was largely built on walks. That ball is tattooed by Encarnacion. Sprinting back is Clark. He will not get to it. It's into the gap, and we're going to have yet another double for the York Revolution as Castro comes around to score. 3 straight 2-baggers for York, and it is now 12-5 here today. The Barnstormers had 3 consecutive doubles back in the 4-run 5th inning. Edwin Figuera will come to the plate. He is 0 for 3. Rodriguez with the check swing, giving the Barnstormers the only out in this top of the ninth inning. Ross having to make a decision is still a ways off. Figuera stands in. De La Cruz operating now with Encarnacion at second and 1 away. The pitch breaks over but low, and it's ball 1. York just wants to see how long that the Revs can keep going. And they've got some fans here all of a sudden perking up in this ninth inning. Another offering on a curveball misses. It is 2-0. Lancaster, as of yet, does not have anybody else warming up in the bullpen. 12-5 here in the ninth inning. 2-0. And a Figuera ground ball left side. That will be played by Lair. He has time to set for the throw, which is on the money. And out number 2, close at first base. Bill Reuter emphatically signaling out. 2 men down. Encarnacion stayed at second base, and Lenin Rodriguez is the final hope in this one for the York Revolution. York released an infielder by the name of Carlos Rivero before arriving in Lancaster, as they had gotten a couple of their players in. Swing and a miss. It is 0-1. The visa situation always makes it hard. Some years are worse than others. Think back to 2019, how difficult it was for the Barnstormers to get Huáscar Brazoban. He was finally cleared in September. A lot of good that did. Ball 1, high and inside. Huáscar now pitching in AAA with the Marlins. One and 1 to Rodriguez. Encarnacion at second base with 2 outs. That's lined on the right side on a base hit. Lean will dig it up around third, holding for a second, and now charging toward the plate is Encarnacion. He's across, and it's 12-6. 5 runs in the top of the ninth for the York Revolution, all off of Oscar De La Cruz, who's focusing on throwing strikes. Now he'll face the top of the order and the right fielder, Zach Rakuson. Lenin Rodriguez, the runner at first base, and 1 out is still needed. Ross, the other night, had to go to Josh Graham to finally close it out in the 23-7 win. To Rakuson, breaking ball, missing low. It is ball 1. On deck is Herrera, who started this inning with a ball slapped up the middle. 2 outs, runner at first base, so York would still have to do a lot. The Barnstormers just waiting on that one last out here in the 9th inning. 1-0. And to Rakuson, it's popped up foul territory. Cordero has no play over at first. 1-1. Ninth man to step in the top of the 9th. We had certainly an opportunity to get done today in under 3 hours, but that's almost asking the impossible at Clipper Magazine Stadium the last couple of years. 1-1. The runner at first not being held. The sharp breaking ball dances too far. 2 balls and a strike on Rakuson. A 5-run inning already for York. Here comes the 2-1 now. Rakuson pops this up. Looking around is Shaver, but that ball is to the seats. It's 2-2. Lancaster needs just one more strike now, but at the same time, that final out still has not arrived. Not a tremendous amount of tension yet, but you've got the big middle of the order coming around soon. That's strike 3 called on the outside corner, and Dela Cruz is finally able to escape the inning. The 11th strikeout for Barnstormers pitching on the day. That caps a 5-run inning on 6 York base hits, no errors, and there was 1 man left on base. We'll be back to summarize this one in just a moment. Our final score this afternoon, the Lancaster Barnstormers 12 and the York Revolution 6.
There is a weekend in July where the baseball world revolves around a village in upstate New York. Baseball Hall of Fame Induction Weekend in Cooperstown is an unforgettable experience full of family-friendly activities and priceless moments. Make your plans today for July 22nd through 25th for the induction of Bud Fowler, Gil Hodges, Jim Cott, Manny Minoso, Tony Oliva, Buck O'Neill, and David Ortiz as the class of 2022. Visit baseballhall.org today for the
Hey kids, join the coolest club in town, the Storm Force. The Storm Force is presented by the Lancaster Barnstormers and Commonwealth Charter Academy. For only $25, kids under 12 get an entire summer of Barnstormers fun with 12 game tickets, a t-shirt and bag, the chance to go first when kids run the bases, exclusive activities, and coupons from Dutch Wonderland, Chocolate World, and more. Don't miss out on all the fun. Go to LancasterBarnstormers.com and sign up.
Anytime the Lancaster Barnstormers can sweep the York Revolution, it makes the folks on the east side of the river very happy. It has happened here this weekend as the Barnstormers get their 2022 home schedule underway. 23-7, an outrageous and historic game here on Friday night. Last night was by far the best game out of the series, with the Barnstormers pitching and the help of a couple of great defensive plays prevailing 5-3. And today, Lancaster with a 12-1 lead. And again, York rallies in the top of the 9th, but still comes up well short. And we finish today at 12-6. For the Barnstormers, 12 runs, 13 hits, no errors, 5 left. York 6 runs on 10 hits with 2 errors and 4 men left on base. Cam Gann was brilliant today. 3 hits over 6 innings, no walks. He struck out 7, giving up the 1 home run. He's 1-0 now on the season. Duke von Schaman is 0-2 for the Revs this season, 3-3 all time against the Lancaster Barnstormers with the loss today. The home run for York, J.C. Encarnacion, that spoiled shutout baseball for Gann. Encarnacion in his first game of the season also had a double in the 9th inning. The Barnstormers got a 2-run shot from Kelly Dugan. They finally quieted him toward the end of the game today after this one had broken open. Dugan homered in all 3 games here this weekend. He had a 4 RBI day today and knocked in 12 in this 3-game series. So that home run was his 3rd. Ladarius Clark with a man aboard in the 8th inning. Sliced one around the right field foul pole for his 2nd home run of the campaign. 3 hours, 2 minutes, the time of our game, 32:09. this afternoon in attendance. A pretty good Sunday, especially considering the weather at Clipper Magazine Stadium. And I would have to think that the Barnstormers front office staff would be very happy over this weekend with better than 12,000 coming here to Clipper Magazine Stadium as we start to count down a little bit toward our 5 millionth fan in franchise history. 12-6, the final score today. The Dugan home run gave the Barnstormers the lead in the first inning as he took another one over the Tents and straightaway right field. The Barnstormers up 2-0. Encarnacion's homer, the only blemish on the record of Cameron Gann today. It made it 2-1. The Barnstormers started to pull away in the bottom of the fourth. Dugan led off with a single to center field. Andretti Cordero picked up a walk. That was it for Duke Van Schamen. Conor Lean greeted reliever Robinson Parra with a double deep into the left field corner. That scored 2, making it 4-1. 4 more runs scored in the fifth. Again, it was Dugan with the big hit. Clark picked up a 1-out walk. He turned and headed to third on a single to right by Melvin Mercedes. The reliever at the time, Isaac Sanchez, able to pick up a strikeout of Colton Shaver. But Dugan, after falling behind 0-2, drilled a double into the right field corner, scoring both runners, putting the Barnstormers up 6-1. Cordero and Lean followed with doubles to left, and it was 8-1. Lancaster scored 2 more in the sixth inning on a single by Mercedes and a ground out by Shaver. And in the eighth, Clark hit the 2-run homer. 5 runs crossed the plate for the Revs. In the top half of the ninth, they had 3 straight doubles by Franco, Castro, and Encarnacion. So York's offense in the top of the ninth got really together for the first time all weekend. That York team will score runs. They talked about it all weekend. I don't think anybody on the York side needs to be concerned about their offense, but I think Mark Mason and his crew will be making some phone calls and trying to tune up the Revolution pitching staff, which is last in the league in ERA and came in here and gave up 40 runs in this 3-game series. Meanwhile, at least for the time being, all is well in the Barnstormers world. The road trip to North Carolina was dreadful. There were some serious concerns. And the one thing that just stands out in my mind, having watched the 7 games on the road trip and the 3-game series here at home, which the Barnstormers swept the York Revolution, the ground balls to the hole at shortstop. It looked like in North Carolina, all those plays were being beaten out by Gastonia hitters, by High Point hitters, and yet we come here to home and no issues. Ground balls to the hole is short. Jake Hoover throwing them out one after another, after another, after another from that hole. An entirely different look to this ball club over this last 3 days. And the Barnstormers pull off the 12-6 win here this afternoon. I'll take a look at what else has transpired around the Atlantic League, or perhaps I should change verb tenses and say is transpiring around the Atlantic League on this Sunday afternoon, because we got started well before anybody else. Long Island has a 6-4 lead over Lexington in the bottom of the 6th inning. Southern Maryland is up 5-1 over Wild Health in the top of the 3rd. Wild Health and Staten Island, the 2 expansion franchises, really having a tough time at the outset of 2022. They're in the bottom of the 1st down at Truist Point. No score between the Charleston Dirty Birds and the High Point Rockers. Staten Island and Gastonia just about at the national anthem down at Caramont Health Park. The Barnstormers sweep the series here, and now it is on to a very, very telltale road trip. The Barnstormers will be playing the 2 teams ahead of them in the North Chase. First, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, and the way today's game has started, it looks like the Barnstormers will take on Southern Maryland on an 8-game winning streak when we get there on Tuesday. 8-1, the Blue Crabs likely to be when we pull into Waldorf on Tuesday. And then Long Island for 3 more. The Ducks are 5-3 and leading this afternoon. So it's a big road trip coming up for the Lancaster Barnstormers. It will tell a lot about where the Barnstormers are headed, at least in the first half of this season. Daryl Thompson, the greatest starting pitcher in Atlantic League history, will be facing the Barnstormers on Tuesday night when we get there, 6:30 the game time. Thompson is 0-1 this year, and his mates bailed him out. He was trailing when he came out in his last start against Staten Island. So it'll be Thompson on Tuesday. The Barnstormers will have Dominic DeSabatino looking for his first win of the season. Right now, everything on the upswing as far as the Barnstormers are concerned. I had said not to panic until this weekend was over, and now we're beginning to get a better picture of the Lancaster Barnstormers in the 2022 season. In reality, not as bad as North Carolina, not as good as this weekend, somewhere in the middle, but the Barnstormers definitely now can play to get in the thick of the race in the Northern Division. 12-6 are scored today, and now we will check the Major League scoreboard, given that opportunity as we wind down here this afternoon at Clipper Magazine Stadium. On the big league scoreboard, it's a final. Minnesota has again trounced Tampa Bay. Today was 9-3 down at the Trop. The Orioles lead the Boston Red Sox 4-1, top of the sixth. They've had some rain at Camden Yards. San Diego 1-0 over Pittsburgh in the bottom half of the fifth, also interrupted by rain. Toronto 3-2 over Houston through 8. Seattle with a 5-2 advantage on Miami in the bottom of the seventh inning. The Angels out to a 4-0 lead over the White Sox. They're now in the eighth inning. Kansas City one better than the Yankees in the seventh. The score is 4-3. The Cubs 2-0 over the Milwaukee Brewers. They're in the eighth inning. Arizona 4 and St. Louis 2 through 5.5. Texas flying this afternoon 7-2 over Atlanta through 3.5 innings. The Colorado Rockies 9-0 over the Cincinnati Redlegs, top of the third inning out in Denver. Washington 3 on the board and still batting in the first inning out in San Francisco. Bottom of the first, Cleveland and Oakland no score. Detroit and the Dodgers scoreless top half of the first inning. And Sunday Night Baseball will be facing the Phillies will be facing the Mets and Max Scherzer as he looks to win his fourth of the campaign. The weekend is over. Opening weekend, I would have to say, has been a rousing success for the Lancaster Barnstormers, certainly on the field with a 3-game sweep of the arch-rival York Revolution, and I have to believe at the gate and as far as the operation is concerned, 2 thumbs up for the Barnstormers and their fans here this weekend, even with very chilly conditions the last 2 nights and a soggy Sunday afternoon today. The Barnstormers able to draw better than 12,000 to Clipper Magazine Stadium for this first 3-game series. It's on to Southern Maryland and Long Island. The first homestand of any length will kick off on Tuesday, May 10th. The Long Island Ducks will be here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. So the Barnstormers are off tomorrow, and we'll be talking to you Tuesday night from Regency Furniture Stadium as the Barnstormers visit the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs for the first of 3. Join us at 6:25, better yet 6:30, from Waldorf, Maryland on Tuesday night. That'll do it for us today. Thanking our video producer, Ryan Cortazzo, and all the cast and crew here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, as well as our presenting sponsor, Gockenauer Appliances of East Petersburg. I'm Dave Collins. Have a great evening or great Monday, everyone. And we'll be talking to you from Southern Maryland, and in another week, we'll see you at the ballpark.